It's the nightcap of day 2, this Kubota College Baseball Series, pitting the Pac-12 versus the Big 12, a future conference matchup as Arizona State, who will head off to the Big 12 next year, takes on 5th-ranked TCU off to a 10-0 start, best start since the 80s, while ASU looks to bounce back after a tough 4-0 loss last night to Texas A&M. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Globe Life Field with Ty Harrington. I'm Ben Wilson. Anytime you're coming into a showcase tournament, you want to show the bats, and Arizona State struggled with that at the plate last night. Just 2 hits in a 4-0 loss to Texas A&M. Ty, they're certainly better than that on the season, but as a result, feeling the pressure for sure tonight.
Yeah, and 2 hits from the same young man, coming home to Texas, but they're a much better offensive team than what they showed last night. It had a lot to do with the pitching they faced. Turn the page, new day today. They got to come out and be offensive for them to have a chance to win.
Ethan Mendoza, the only player with a hit last night on the side of Arizona State. Meanwhile, for TCU, they scored a lot of runs last night. It was a 9-8 win in 11 innings, had a comeback in the 9th, the 4 extras, before eventually knocking off the USC Trojans. And only one change to their lineup tonight. Jack Basir in at DH, since Peyton Tolley, the two-way player, got to hit for himself last night. And TCU, they're finding ways to score no matter what the circumstance, and that was true last night as they won their 5th one-run game in the first 10 this season.
Ebb and flow last night. There were so many one pitch away from winning on both sides, but in the end, it was TCU's offense that was able to come back and find a way to come up with a heroic extra inning base hit to win a game.
TCU with a matchup now against a talented lefty who's a senior. Making that transition, though, from stud mid-major pitcher now to weekend starter for a Power 5 school. And that's Connor Markle, who had a great career at Grand Canyon. His old coach, Andy Stankiewicz, is here this weekend coaching for USC. But Connor stays in Phoenix, goes from GCU over to Arizona State. The numbers, a bit of a struggle so far. His coach, Willie Bloomquist, told us, Ty, it's been a learning experience for Markle as he gets adjusted to facing better competition.
All part of it. I mean, if you're going to make a transition up into a Power 5 conference, sometimes those weekend series look a little bit different. Sometimes the hitters will look a bit different. But they like him enough, they're going to run him back out there today and give him a chance to get after it.
Made 25 starts over 3 seasons at Grand Canyon. First start was shaky. Bounced back pretty nicely, though, last weekend. Just 2 earned in 5 innings with 7 strikeouts against Ohio State. We're ready to go. First pitch is a called strike. Starting things out, 6:45 p.m. locally here. A little bit later than expected. We had a long game right before us as Texas A&M knocked off USC 9-3. ASU trying to turn things around for the Pac-12 representation. That conference 0-3 so far as a swing and a miss comes to Peyton Chatinier, leading things off for TCU.
Well, you get a first look at a fastball first pitch, and he follows it right back up with a changeup, and a good-looking changeup.
Chatinier sees that 0-2 bounce in the dirt. Guy who struggled toward the back end offensively of his Ole Miss career before transferring in to Fort Worth and TCU, but was good last night. Had a single and walked 3 times. Had an RBI, scored a run, and off to a good start. His first year as a Horned Frog, hitting .351. As Markle bounces another one in the dirt, 2-2.
Got to find that aim, that depth of your pitches early in a game. Translating from the bullpen out to the game mound. Sometimes that's part of it.
Just outside with the changeup. That's really the pitch when you watch Markle. You go back to 2023 last year with Grand Canyon, 42% whiff rate on his changeup. It can be a difference maker. A ball shot back up the middle off the glove of Mendoza. Couldn't handle it. 103 miles an hour off the bat. A hard turn by Chatinier, who stays hot in a Horned Frog uniform.
Well, he stays with a middle approach, too, after the change-ups, trying to stay in there a little bit longer. Looks like he's going to come back in there with a fastball right out over the plate. Drove it right back where it was.
And so far, command this season has not been the issue for Markle, but it's giving up hard contact. He's given up 14 hits now through his first 8 2/3 as he makes the adjustment from GCU. Made the NCAA tournament in 2021 and 22 under Andy Stankiewicz. They were upset in last year's tournament by Sam Houston in 2023. As the #1 seed in that league, with a fastball missing just outside. And having watched Markle, I call the WAC tournament every year, he was a guy who, based on that competition, he was so good at getting ahead in counts. He could just pound strikes with a fastball early, and from working ahead, the changeup was really, really difficult to pick up. That's a luxury he just hasn't had so far. As opposition now, you're a pitcher, you've been around a few years, teams start to sit on that pitch. It's been a big adjustment point as well for him.
Well, you're right, and you got to get that in there. You got to get that fastball, and you see him taking a deep breath. Sometimes I wish somebody put a camera on just all the players and pitchers and hitters, how many deep breaths are taken in a game like this, particularly at the beginning and at the end. But trying to get that fastball command.
He finds the outside edge. 89 on the fastball for Markle. Will touch as high as 93 with that. He's worked a lot too on his slider as well, but it's really fastball, changeup, then some sliders for Markle. As he faces Sam Myers, who was our player of the game yesterday, had the walk-off single in the 11th to score Chase Brunson, got TCU that crazy extra inning win in a game that lasted over 4.5 hours. 9 for his first 21, Sam Myers, to start a college career. And when we talked to him post-game, he didn't seem like a freshman either. It was like a grizzled, old vet, just sort of, doing my thing at the plate. Good approach, and that's the thing that impresses you about the young Myers.
There's been a lot of freshmen in this tournament.
Here he chops one foul. Our player of the game last game, if you missed it, that was A&M over USC 9-3, and Gavin Grahovic had a big homer. A whole lot of talented freshmen out there as Chatinier leads the game off with a base hit. Now Myers up.
You can add to that list too, in my opinion. Burns last night for Arizona State, he's going to be a big-time arm. They ran him out there on Friday night. First right out of the box, and a big league facility, and against a great team, so they got a lot of confidence, and he showed it.
Just missed on that 2-2 fastball, 3-2. Markle, known as a guy with tremendous command in his GCU career. 156 strikeouts to just 54 walks over 145 innings.
Yeah, that's...
Punch to the right side, could be two. The flip by Mendoza. On Dina the turn. Sun Devils turn their 8th double play of the year as we take a look at the defense, and a nice play there by Ethan Mendoza, the Texan, back in his home state. And it's Mendoza and Andina who anchor that middle of the infield. Nick McLean back. It's his second start. Missed the first 8 games of the season for ASU, and they love having his presence both in the field as well as at bat time. Hoping to get him on track. And Arizona State team, maybe they can use the defense, turn it into some offense today, since they got just the 2 hits, and they were both from Mendoza last night.
Well, Mendoza last night, he should have had 3. He got robbed on the first one. He did a great job of getting the top of the baseball. I think for Nick McLean, injuries, you think, well, he's healthy, then he'll be fine. Well, every live at bat is to your advantage in moving forward and getting better.
It's Curtis Byrne with a nubber. Nice job to cover by Markle. Had a couple stabs at the bag, but gets his foot on it. We will see Nick McLean, who you just talked about, tie up next. Arizona State coming to the plate.
Watch me. Watch me grapple, move, and pin. When I hit the mat, don't underestimate the grin. I've got state championships and medals to show. But it's about more than just winning. This you should know. Overcoming odds through therapy and care. The road was long. Now opponents beware. Watch me. Game-changing sports medicine at Shriners Children's. The most amazing care anywhere.
Protecting what matters most is the mission that matters most. At Lockheed Martin, we know today's threats come from behind, above, and below, and we make sure those who serve stay ahead of them by connecting platforms necessary to dominate every domain across air, land, sea, space, and cyber, using technologies that protect in the same moment they detect. The mission is a safer, more secure world. Our promise is to help make it happen.
Globe Life Field is your home for college baseball with 3 full weekends of action starting February 16th at the home of the Texas Rangers. It all starts with the Shriners Children's College Showdown presented by Kubota featuring Baylor, Texas Tech, Oklahoma, Oregon, Tennessee, and Nebraska. Next is the Kubota College Baseball Series with Arkansas, Oklahoma State, Michigan, and Oregon State in Weekend 2, and TCU, Texas A&M, Arizona State, and USC for Weekend 3. To get tickets and learn more, visit globelifefield.com/collegebaseball.
Arizona State, despite a tough night at the plate last night with just 2 hits, getting shut out. They run it back, same order as the weekend opener. And it's Nick McLean, the preseason all Pac-12 do-it-all player off of hamate bone surgeries each of the last 2 years, making his season debut this weekend. McLean back in that 2-hole. Last night, McLean, like just about everybody on the team with the collar, 0 for 3, did draw a walk. As the Sun Devils went 0 for 26, 2 walks and 12 strikeouts in their non-Ethan Mendoza at-bats. It's a tough assignment tonight, Ty. You get Cole Klecker, one of the best freshman arms in the country last year. First freshman for TCU in a decade to win 10 games as a freshman. He got the ball in their first game in Omaha last year. Numbers aren't great because he had a shaky first outing, but the talent is certainly there. It's just a matter of getting it locked in.
Yeah, the talent and the experience. I mean, as you just mentioned, his record as a freshman and getting a start in Omaha speaks volumes about, you know, the kind of year he had. Also, his talents and his abilities and his ability emotionally to focus.
And he fires the fastball just outside to Harris Williams starting this game. He made his collegiate debut right here at Globe Life Field against Arkansas. Team beat the Hogs 18-6 as he gets a foul back. And threw 4 1/3 in that start. Gave up just 1 run on 3 hits with no walks and 6 strikeouts. And you could see even back then, even before he had all that experience, Ty, just the sort of stuff and the confidence he had on the mound. Gets another foul back here to go to 1-2.
Now, without any doubt, I mean, there's so many things that coming out, like going back to Arizona State for a second. They've got to get it going offensively, right? You brought it up at the beginning, and everybody thinks, well, just flip a switch. Well, it's obviously not that easy, right? I think some of the pitching had something to do with last night, to be honest with you. And, you know, if the pitching's good, it makes the hitting that much tougher. And they did barrel up some balls, but for them to get out to an early start, I think would be huge for them.
And a rocket foul on 2-2 by Williams.
Momentum-wise, I think it'd be huge for them.
Yeah, keep in mind, ASU in a much better spot with the pitching depth tonight because TCU had to go very, very deep into the bullpen. Tolley went 4 1/3 last night. Then 5 relievers used. Ben Abelt blew a save through a lot of pitches. Wouldn't think he'd be available tonight, but there's strikeout number 1. Cole Klecker rings up Williams looking.
Tell you what, he just unloads this fastball in the inner half. Dots it up. I'll tell you what, it's a tough pitch and a good pitch.
The Horned Frogs looking to shore things up on the defensive end tonight. 3 errors, very uncharacteristic for a pretty solid defense. They have the talented sophomore Anthony Silva, one of the best freshmen in the country last year, anchoring that middle infield. But it was a little odd to see TCU kind of kick the ball around last night.
Yeah, they're known for their defense. I mean, and particularly their infield play. And you're right, but it happens. I mean, it's part. I mean, it is. Now, you play clean, and the beauty of when you play clean defense, it sometimes doesn't get noticed. But I mean, when it doesn't, like last night, it can create opportunities for the other team to win.
A foul tip on 1-1. McLean down to the count 1-2. So far, Cole Klecker, it was a tough first outing. 4 earned runs on 7 hits in just 3 innings opening weekend against Florida Gulf Coast. Much better last weekend in a TCU sweep. Bounces this slider in the dirt, 2-2. Gave up just a single run in 4 1/3 against UCLA. So that's 6.14 ERA. All those numbers you can take with a giant grain of salt this time of year. We're so early. Any bad inning really can throw your pitcher's ERA out of whack. As the 2-2 just misses back to the slider.
That's a great point. And everybody I've talked to has repeatedly said Gulf Coast can really hit. And they went on and they've won some games, and the games they've lost have been high-scoring games. So they must be pretty offensive.
Misses upstairs, goes to the fastball on 3-2, and McLean, just like last night, he is able to draw a walk. That was McLean's first AB against A&M. Here he's on base as Ryan Campos comes up with a man on. And those games were wild opening weekend. We were in Fort Worth at Lupton Stadium. 13-10 was the game in which Klecker started that TCU won. Now the Horned Frogs so far, they've just been addicted to the tight game. A snap throw here after a ball high. As after last night, 7 of the team's 10 wins by 3 runs or less. 5 of those wins by a single run. Horned Frogs 6-0 against Pac-12 teams as well. They've basically faced half the conference so far. There's a called strike.
The old adage is true. You only got to win by 1. When they go back and look at how many you won by, it doesn't say it's got a big old W right next to it.
Swing and a miss. Impressive fastball from Klecker. He's pitching against his hometown team. He's from Chandler, Arizona. Hamilton High School, great high school program in the greater Phoenix area. Yes, you sure would have loved to have Klecker stay home. Instead, he's pitching against him now for TCU as he misses upstairs.
You talked about it yesterday and again early in the game today, the first game, about how recruiting has changed and how it's, you know, geographically you're seeing kids go, you know, further away now more than ever. Certainly more than the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. I mean, everybody kind of hung in their areas a little bit, but now it is really expanded.
Good move back to first. With more games too in the exposure category for these college coaches, it's not like you need to find diamonds in the rough either. And when you're a guy like Cole Klecker, when you throw a complete game to lead your high school to a state title in the championship game as he misses outside here, that'll get a lot of people's attention, not just in your home state.
Yes, and you know, it's just the travel baseball. Everybody plays and they go to the big town, Phoenix, they go to Georgia, they go to, you know, the West Coast, they come to the DFW area and play in these huge tournaments, and everybody from all over the country.
Nice pitch there to tie up Campos.
And so everybody gets exposed to all the coaches from different places because they all pile in. I mean, like, it's a good-looking, well, that fastball had a lot of high ride to it right there. It's hard to stay off that. You go, why would you swing at that? Well, that thing kind of starts in that elevated area where you think you're going to be able to get the barrel to the middle of it. And it just keeps kind of riding up on you.
First pitch change-up in there to Tobias.
I just think the recruiting, national recruiting areas now are the whole country for a lot of people. Even the Texas teams are bringing kids in from out of state. You know, you'll see a lot of Texas kids go east to the SEC, and you know, we've got Mendoza here. You know, went out to Arizona State, DFW kid, South Lake High School. This is really one of the top high school programs in the state of Texas.
Excited to ask Willie Bloomquist about Ethan when he joins us a little bit later in the broadcast. We'll speak with both coaches coming up here early in the game. A great matchup right now. Tobias, team leader in RBI last year. Well, rolls over one to the right side. A charge by Chatinier makes the play. And Klecker works around a 1-out walk as we go to the second. Good start for both pitchers underway in the nightcap from Globe Life Field. Here's a good look at the TCU fans looking on. 0-0 game as we go to the second. We're pleased to be joined right now by TCU head coach Kirk Saarloos. Hey, Coach, you just had a good first start for Cole Klecker. First inning in the books. What have you seen in his growth after such a tremendous freshman campaign when he got the ball for you in Omaha?
Well, I mean, in his sophomore year, he's obviously, he's going to be, well scouted from last year. So he's added a couple things. The changeup, Coach Lawn has been working on with him. The cutter, the last pitch there. So he's evolving. If you could only just get the camera closer to my face, we'd be in good shape.
Kurt, coming out of last night's game, so many ups and downs, one pitch away from winning, then maybe one hit early in the game away from winning. Then you find a way late, and then you guys hang in there and find a way to win. You certainly had to be proud of your club finding that inning to, an extra innings to win.
Yeah, I mean that's the name of the game. I feel like, in our dugout we got a lot of kids that know how to win, and some of that was from last year, and some of that was, the kids we brought in our recruiting class and in our portal. I mean, that's what we're looking for. That's what everybody's looking for, is to find winning ball players. And the big thing is we've faced our challenges. It hasn't been easy. We've trailed in a bunch of games or a couple games, and they just never quit. And that's the thing that you like to see as a head coach, is when guys face adversity and kind of face it head on, and it's not always going to go their way, but they give themselves a great opportunity every time that they step on the field.
And how about just the example, too? You say a player like Logan Maxwell singles here to lead off the inning. He sits on the bench for the most part, first couple years in the program, and to stick with it, right, get his opportunity and prove he belongs in the lineup. What does that say just about, the growth of all these guys here in the maturity?
Sure. Well, I think the big thing with Logan is the fact that he hasn't stayed healthy to stay on the field. He started, I think, the opening day his freshman year. It's just he's been kind of tagged with some injuries, and but I feel like this team has a little bit more depth than TCU teams in the past, which is good and difficult for the coaching staff trying to put a lineup together.
Sure thing. Coach, thanks so much for the time. You guys have been addicted to one-run games. We'll see if there's another one tonight.
Yeah, hopefully it's not 4.5 hours.
Yeah, well, we can all agree on that for sure. Thanks so much.
Go Frogs.
Swing and a miss here by Basir. Yeah, the official time, 4:38 last night, 11-inning game. Now, Kirk Saarloos saying, that camera all close on him. You can kind of see the beard going gray with all the I mean, you've been in
those one-runners will do it to you. I'm going to tell you.
The stress of that, it's a lot. He was pretty cool, calm, and collected, though, last night.
Yeah, but that's you got to be able to think in those moments. You got to be able to keep your cool, too, because you don't want your players to lose theirs.
Basir fouls it off. He gets the start tonight at DH. It's his 5th this year, 4 for 11 on the early season. We got to look at the great two-way player, Peyton Tolley, preseason Big 12 newcomer of the year, who was the starting pitcher last night and got to hit as a DH. So Tolley gets the night off. And Basir, a Pepperdine transfer from the state of California, fouls this one off. And Coach Saarloos, you talk about the recruiting and the areas you go to, Tile. Kirk knows the West Coast so well. I mean, he was one of the greats to come out of Cal State Fullerton, that dominant Titan program in the early 2000s. He's from Long Beach. So if there's anybody who's still locked into that part of the country, it's Coach Saarloos.
Well, and his name resonates. There's one thing about, knowing the area, another that your name resonates with the recruits and the baseball culture, and he certainly does. And when you start saying you're one of the greats at Cal State Fullerton, that's saying a lot. And they've had a lot of great big leaguers, a lot of championship teams.
Change up in the dirt on 2-2. Count runs full to Basir. And Saarloos went on to a 7-year big league career. Eight-year pitching coach for TCU before he took over to the 18-year head man Jim Schlossnagle when he went over to Texas A&M. 3-2 count here, and a slicer foul off the bat of Basir. Now you could tell right away, though, when Saarloos took over his first year in 2013 in Fort Worth, lowest team ERA since 1968 for TCU.
Yeah, that's making an impact. I mean, that truly is. And I think even
Call strike 3. Basir thought he had ball 4. Home plate umpire Casey Mosher thinks differently.
Let's take a look at pitch on the inner half. Kind of locks him up. Gets a called third strike on that inner half. I'll tell you what, Campos does a good job of getting underneath that ball and dragging it back up just a little bit for a strike. But I think what I was about to say, I think it speaks volumes about him that they hired from within when Coach Schwarzenegger left and went to A&M, right? You don't always have to hire from within, and I think a lot of people say, hey, what are they going to do? And they made the right choice. I can tell you that. I mean, and obviously, I mean, and look what they did last year.
Swing and a miss here by Silva, and it's become a program now really known for the sort of pitchers it's developed over the last decade and a half or so if you go back.
Yeah, there's a long list of them. There truly is. You know, the other thing, if you think about last night's game, ups and downs, close to win, lose, and you know, he talked about how they want to have those resilient, tough guys that compete, know how to win. That's what they did last year. So it's also part of his personality, right, as a coach and his coaching staff. They hang in there, keep grinding away, and made great things happen, found their way into Omaha.
TCU 12-4 in neutral site games, which when you think neutral site, that's big showcase tournament, that's Big 12 tournament, that's postseason a lot of times. They went 7-1 at Globe Life last year, have won 12 of their first 15 games at Globe Life here, and they balk on Markle after a bunch of throws over, trying to keep Maxwell at first. That is what, 3 of the 4 games we've had now, Ty, with a balk?
You know, you keep picking and you're trying to protect the run game, and then as a pitcher, then all of a sudden you hurry, you don't come to a discernible stop. You can see he kind of has that extra pump in his feet and his glove. Got to make sure you come to a stop.
Does catch the inside edge, though. 0-2 to Anthony Silva, freshman All-American last year. Stays alive in the count, 0-2.
Brought this up last night about, oh, we do, don't we? Some Silva fans. Yeah, that I was just about to say, you brought this up last night. They made the choice to let that guy go out there and go play shortstop last year.
Oh, he gets plunked here on an 0-2 pitch. And not the plan for Markle.
As opposed to rushing to the portal, finding an older kid that, you know, a junior, senior somewhere, or grad transfer, whatever it might be. He stayed with this young man. He's going to get hit. That's a little bit better area.
Yeah, there are worse places.
Yeah, there are, for sure. There's a lot worse.
Silva drops to the 6 hole tonight. Yeah, you're so right, and that was what Coach Sarlos told us last year as we were getting ready for this tournament to open the season. And he said there's a reason we didn't raid the portal for a shortstop, and they felt like from day one it was a premier defender coming in. They weren't sure about the offense, but that's where Silva took to another level last year, hitting .330 en route to that freshman All-American campaign. He's now on first as Carson Bowen takes the ball. Good pitch right there on the changeup. Back to it for Markle.
A lot of guys come in, athletes come in, shortstops. Seems like that everybody goes, well, he can really defend. Is he really going to be able to hit? Well, those athletes over time figure it out. And that bat speed gets better.
Hot shot to the right side. McLean over with room and makes the catch on the edge of the track. Maxwell tags, heads to third. And it's runners on the corners for Chase Brunson.
Ball's away from him. That ball ended up going a little bit deeper than when he first hit it. I didn't think he really got after it. Sounded and looked like he kind of got it off the end of the bat. That ball had a little bit more carry, which speaks a little bit about his strength as a hitter, too.
You said earlier freshmen have been huge all weekend. Bowen now setting up an opportunity for Brunson by getting the runner over 90 feet away from home. Brunson having a great start to his college career, takes a slider down and in, hitting 389 already, a couple homers, 6 driven in, and a good eye at the plate too, which stands out. 6 walks to 6 Ks. Wave and a miss at that changeup, and it was Brunson who scored the game-winning run last night, helped TCU walk it off.
You know what's fun about that too, that the celebration, right? They chase the hitter. And the guy that scores a winning run standing at home plate, hey, what, you know.
Don't forget about me,
Yeah.
guys. Yeah. Inside 2-1. Brunson from San Clemente, California. He came in right away. Very good fall, hitting the baseball. Nice option to have in your 8-hole. Little tapper. Markle handles it well. Strong throw to get out of the jam. Markle working out of leadoff base hits in each of the first 2 innings. Bottom of the second, next in a 0-0 game. Some ASU fans have made the trip from Tempe looking for a bounce back after a tough 4-0 loss last night. A team that had a ton of draft picks last year, 8, most since 2015. Finished top 50 in RPI, just a couple quality wins away, tied for making the NCAA tournament. Probably the thing that kept them out, just 5-12 against teams in the top 50 last year. Now they feel like they've taken another step in the right direction under their third-year head coach Willie Bloomquist towards getting back to the tournament, getting back to the type of baseball that you certainly remember when you were playing back in the 80s, and an absolute powerhouse this program was.
Remember, he talked about last night that when we asked him, hey, where do you think the program is? Hey, we're heading in the right direction. And when you get that many drafted kids in your organization like they had a year ago, you're getting the right talent, and you're developing them. That's a lot of draft picks.
Kevin Karstetter, check swing strike, leading off this second inning for ASU. And fouls it off. Between what ASU had to see last night, Ryan Prager and Evan Aschenbeck, who struck out 12, allowing just 2 hits combined in the process, and Klecker, one of the premier underclassmen pitchers in the country. This is tough way to go into a premier showcase tournament, but that was always the expectation. They knew the competition would just be that much better with the count going to 1-2. Sent the other way. Pretty good ride as Myers goes back and makes the catch. Karstetter stayed on that 1-2 pitch, but it's an out number 1 gotten for Klecker.
Ben, you're exactly right. That ball was away from him. He does a great job of staying with this. Gets the barrel to it. Hit it good. Or once in a while, that's why the game's played this way with 9 defenders out there. The defenders just getting away of it every once in a while.
Isaiah Jackson now digging in, takes the ball high and outside, and Willie Bloomquist will join us next half inning. I'm curious as his thoughts tie that breakdown right between really good hitting you're facing or pitching you're facing, but what can you be doing better as an offense? And that's always, I'm sure, the battle you're used to going through as a coach, where you're trying to figure out, all right, how much do we tip our cap versus how can we be better at the plate?
You got to be able to kind of look at it objectively. It's hard sometimes because emotionally you want to win and you're putting in the work with your guys, and sometimes you don't want to admit that it's one way or another, but you got to be objective about it as well, and so that you can try to work moving forward.
2-1 count right now to Isaiah Jackson. Takes a fastball outside. They love his defense. Can cover a ton of ground in the outfield. Offense a little bit up and down last year. Did strike out 59 times, which they're hoping to improve on this season. But the talent unquestionably there, as he takes a fastball up high and a walk. Second so far for ASU. And it sets up Ethan Mendoza, who was by far the best hitter at the plate last night, going 2 for 3.
Well, he had 3 really good at bats last night. Was able to get to the top of the baseball, and his swing is so flat and direct to the ball that allows him to get to elevated balls, allows him to keep that bat on path longer, to drop balls the other way. He's a good-looking young hitter.
Watches a slider down in the dirt. Mendoza off to a 391 start. Four runs driven in so far. Couple extra base hits, 9 for 23 for the Bedford, Texas native. Check swing foul.
I want to follow up on a comment you just made a minute ago about Jackson. And you're right. I mean, I watched him a little bit last night. It's the first time I've seen him. And not only does he play great defense, he makes it look so easy. And he's just gliding out there, and just they had a deep ball last night. He just turned his back and ran, and everybody got excited, and he just kind of got underneath it, right off to the side of it, caught it, and made it look like it was just another day at the office.
A 2-1 count here. Jackson has not attempted to steal yet this season. It's off the end of the bat. Crazy English, a tough play, and a nice scoop by Chatinier. Charged that ball really well after it got past Klecker.
Well, he did a great job. Chatinier did a great job of understanding he wasn't going to have time to go field. This ball's off the end of the bat. Klecker's not able to get it because it was spinning, and so he shovels it with his glove because he knew he wasn't going to have time to make the transition to a throw. Really heads-up play. You work on that all the time as a defender, and particularly obviously as a second baseman, because that play comes up more than you might have thought.
Now Chatinier, the Ole Miss transfer, really nicely done there as Brandon Compton digs in, takes a called strike on a curveball. We heard Kirk Sarlos tell us about some of the adds to the arsenal for Klecker. A little bit of a cut fastball he now has. This ball tagged to left center. Brunson over, makes the catch. Allowed out number 3 for ASU as we stay 0-0 head to the third. 0-0 to the third as ASU head coach Willie Bloomquist joins us now on the broadcast. Coach, you guys have faced some really good pitchers here to start this weekend. What do you make of your team's AB so far, even though you haven't scratched any runs across?
No, we're getting a few base runners and hit a couple balls hard. Just nothing's dropping right now, but they'll keep swinging the bats. Hopefully we get something to fall and get something going.
Well, so far with your left-handed pitcher out there with Markle, he's been able to kind of hold it in there. Your thoughts, so far with him making the transition to your organization and your program, and your thoughts about not just tonight, but how he's transitioned into your program.
He's done a good job. He's a nice change of pace arm, good left-handed, crafty left-hander that changes speeds a little bit and hopefully gets guys off balance and is able to be effective for, hopefully he can get us through 5 today.
I wanted to make sure too we mention Chris Bano just inducted at College Baseball Hall of Fame. So much history. Will, you've been a part of that at ASU here and kind of keeping that tradition going, getting ASU back into the forefront of college baseball. What's it meant just, being a part of that? You see the alumni list. It's kind of speaks for itself,
Yeah, it does. It's a special place, special program, and the history of it, needs no introduction. It's a great place to go, and just the names of the past here, that have played in this program and worn the maroon and gold is just it's impressive, man. And I'm just happy to be a part of this program and get a chance to do it a second time, and this time obviously as a coach's seat, but it's special every time you put the uniform on.
Yeah, no doubt. Been cool to see all the ASU fans here in the building as well. Appreciate you taking the time. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
You bet, guys. Thanks. Have a good night.
And we will. 0-0 here as we go to the third. A 2-2 count to Ryder Robinson. And Chris Bando was a great catcher in the 70s for ASU. And one of our outstanding Flow Sports producers, Don Cardona, big ASU baseball fan. He's an ASU alum. Was it's funny. We were on the broadcast last night, and he was like, "Don't forget this. Don't forget this guy. All the great players." This ball is up the middle. Nice diving stop by on Dina, but all he can do is just slow it down as Ryder Robinson reaches on an infield single.
Well, it's a great dive catch right there, or stop at a baseball, but it was so deep he wasn't going to be able to get to his feet in time. Throw out Robinson. Watch it extend all the way out, sit in front of him. Those infielders love to dive and get up and throw too. You work on it in practice, and it's fun, it's sexy, but they love it when they get to leave their feet and go make great plays.
Nandina has made some amazing plays. Go back to fall ball coming in as a transfer from Florida International. He's only 5'8", 160, but did well just to stop that ball. Back to the top of the order. Chatinier takes a fastball high and outside. This is the 12th all-time meeting. ASU has been in this area before. They came to Fort Worth for a true road series back in 2017 as Chatinier fouls it off. TCU took 2 of 3 back in that series. First meeting back in '93 as ASU holds a 6-5 edge all time.
ASU holds the edge over a lot of people in the history. When you go back
sure.
to the tradition of it, right?
Small list, right? Teams
yeah.
They don't have. Yeah, that's a very good point. Upstairs on the 1-1 offering to Chatinier. He's back in his home state from Cypress, Texas. Went to Ole Miss, part of a team that got hot at the right time, kind of like TCU last year, although Ole Miss rode that all the way to a national title. And played here at Globe Life Field at the start of the year. So not his first rodeo at the home of the Rangers.
And what's incredible about college sports is, Ole Miss was on the verge of not making some people think, and I wasn't on the committee, that they were the last team getting into the regional that year, and they get hot. And next thing you know, they're not only just playing for a national championship, they're the last man standing.
3-2 count here, coming to Chatinier. Every year that college baseball has started the season at Globe Life, as this 3-2 is roped to left field, charging in Williams, and hangs up just long enough for him to make the catch. and a first out. Every year we've had college baseball to start the season at Globe Life, at least one team has made it to Omaha, and I would say our odds have exponentially increased now that we have 3 weekends. I feel pretty good about saying one of the teams out of the 16 overall will make it to the final 8.
Well, it's kind of like what Sean Decker was saying last night about a wait list, right, of people that want to get in here. Well, they probably see that trend too, going, well, every time you go to that tournament, somebody lands in Omaha.
It was funny about the field last year. If you had to take your pick of one team in the season opening tournament at Globe Life to make it to Omaha, TCU probably would have been at best the second choice, maybe third. I mean, Arkansas, Vanderbilt, Oklahoma State, just some absolute mashing teams that came into the year with more hype. 1-0 here to Myers.
Well, Arkansas, I think, carried that, top 5 label on their back a while. And really, there were some people about in March were, concerned, if you're an LSU fan, were they going to have the bullpen to hang in there? And obviously they were able to do that and then some. And I think their offense kind of helped that side of it as well.
Chopped foul as the count goes 1-1 on Myers. Pitching depth always the differentiator, and that's why people are so high on TCU with what they have. But what we've learned so far early in the season is that the offense, even with losing 4 really talented hitters led by Braden Taylor, a first-round pick by the Rays, still a super deep lineup top to bottom. Change up low and away, 2-1 from Markle.
Myers every once in a while will show you after he hit so yesterday, but he'll show that drag to you. He'll show the small ball part, kind of get you pulled in a little bit. What I'm getting at, his mind's always thinking baseball.
Spoils that pitch, 2-2 the count.
He's always looking for a way to go 90 feet plus. He's always looking for a way to get on base. And again, last night coming up with a big hit.
Markle has been very patient, deliberate on those throws over to first.
You were talking about the teams that were here that made it to Omaha. I'll bet you tonight you could pick out 3 or 4 of these freshmen and go out there and think by year's end they're going to be freshman All-Americans.
Well, in this tournament alone, we have Chase Brunson will be a early candidate for freshman of the year in the Big 12. We already have Gavin Grahovic, who is viewed as a potential SEC freshman of the year. And that's just the top of the list. You're so right. Slap to the left side. That's controlled to second for 1. The relay in time. Karstetter, Mendoza, Tobias to end the inning. Nicely done. Second double play turn by the Arizona State D. As Markle gets out of it one more time, we stay without a run. 0-0 to the bottom of the 3rd. We talked about that run to Omaha last year for TCU. 4th place in the regular season. Came here to Globe Life and ran through the conference 4 straight wins to take it all. Winners of the Fayetteville Regional, Indiana State Super Regional, and then won 2 games at Omaha. 44 wins for TCU, and they are off to a great start. First 10-0 start since 1985 for the Horned Frogs.
I would have not. I guess I would have thought they would have been at some point between here and there, you know, off to this kind of winning start because of the success they've had. But going to look, not losing a game in your first 10 games, 9-10 games, that's tough to do regardless of who you're playing.
A bunt foul by Andina to start this bottom of the 3rd.
Now we got 2 of them here.
And even for the Blue Bloods, even if you're top 5 team, it's par for the course, as you know, to see upsets early in the season.
Yep.
Foul back on 0-1, especially when you are not usually stretching out your starters until this is really the time now, 3rd start, where you actually will throw guys up toward 90, 100 pitches.
Yeah, if they've been training for it, they'll let them roll up to 100. Particularly if they're throwing good. Now, if it's exhausting, long innings, you know, if he has a 5th inning where it was long and he had to throw 22, 24, and something like that, they might, you know, can him at 84 or something.
Dina stays alive.
And sometimes it's not necessarily just the pitch count. It's the stress you're under during those pitches. You know, how hard was it to get to that 81st pitch? Were you pitching under duress the whole time? There's a lot that goes into that century mark idea. Man right there certainly's got a great idea about it.
Nice pitch. There's that cut fastball that Klecker introduced into his repertoire in the offseason, and he catches the outside edge.
He just absolutely edged that pitch, as you said, on the outer edge. I'll tell you what, that's an 88 mile an hour cutter.
Klecker's 3rd strikeout already. Goes back to the top of the order in Harris Williams. High and outside, and Klecker was a guy who talked about getting stretched out early. You certainly feel like Klecker's already in that mode since he threw 97 2/3 innings last year, 7 quality starts, and a team high 17 starts on the season. That one just catches the blacks. Chirping over in the ASC.
Yeah, that's a great job of catching the ball, though. It's his left thumb underneath that ball and just gets underneath it, kind of drags it back up so the umpire can see it.
A shot to center. Brunson goes back, then in, and makes the catch for out number 2.
Well, it used to be called framing. When you frame pitches to the umpire, turn your hand. Now these guys, if you watch, catching has changed. A lot of them go down the knee. They lower the glove right before the pitch is made, and then they can pull that thing back up so the umpires can see it. Gives them a great visual to call strikes.
That one just misses. Looking at Nick McLean. So McLean just took live BP on Wednesday, working his way back. And that surgery to that small bone right around the wrist. Curveball. It's the back door, and it is 1-1.
Well, those hamate bones, again, they don't serve a significant structural value, but break them, it's 6 weeks.
As he fouls this off, what's all the more impressive was he went to UCLA, didn't play, transfers into ASU, and he had a hand injury, had his first hamate bone surgery last year, and it happened a week prior to the season. He only played 23 games, yet he still earned Pac-12 honorable mention all conference. Grounds one to the right side here, and it's played nicely by Chatinier. 0-0 through 3. Both pitchers dealing in the nightcap at Globe Life Field.
Watch me. Watch me roll, grind, and spin. Playgrounds for wheels. That's always a win. One with my chair, but never held back. I do things sitting down most people standing can't hack. Some might say my condition was fate. My doctors would tell you I'm just redefining great. Watch me. Life-changing orthopedic excellence at Shriners Children's. The most amazing care anywhere.
You're so much more than just a landowner. You're a gardener, a groundskeeper, and a landscaper. That's why you need versatile, durable Kubota equipment.
The American Western Weekend. 2 nights of Western sports and live entertainment. Deep in the heart of Texas. March 8th and 9th, Globe Life Field. Friday night, the American Performance Horsemen with a concert by Luke Bryan. Saturday night, the American Rodeo with a concert by Post Malone. The American Western Weekend, March 8th and 9th. Tickets on sale at AmericanRodeo.com.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Kubota. You need equipment with more reliability and versatility built in. Like Kubota BX and L Series compact tractors, rated #1 in durability and owner experience. Part of the college baseball experience here at Globe Life Field. All the teams over the last 3 weekends. Great crowds. Texas A&M fans sticking around after they beat USC earlier. A lot of TCU fans in the house. 0-0 game. A good old-fashioned pitchers duel tie as we go to the 4th inning between TCU and Arizona State, and a rocket to start the inning. Markle sees Curtis Burns shoot one down the left field line. Well, TCU's had base runners every inning. It's just a matter of getting them home, and an extra base hit for the first baseman, Burns.
Well, that's certainly going to give him an opportunity early to get him home with a double. Leadoff double, catches a pitch in the middle of the plate. Well, I tell you what, that ball was scorched. He did a good job of hitting it, staying with it. Like something secondary, they kind of got that barrel sped up. Full side down the line. Gives his double sign. I think that's what those things are called when they have a little celebration sign at second base.
He's fired up. Curtis Burns sets up Logan Maxwell. Had the base hit last inning. Burns' first double of the season. He and Carson Bowen have been a couple of great catcher options for Kirk Saarloos behind the dish. Maxwell over the top of that slider. Now 4 hits in the first 3+ innings for TCU, but Markle's been really good in the tight situations. Here he misses low and outside with the changeup. A couple of double play balls already. Misses a little high with a slider. Connor Markle, it's his 3rd start since coming over from Crosstown School Grand Canyon. And over to ASU after making 25 starts, 45 total appearances as he goes down low in the dirt on this changeup, and it's 3-1 to Maxwell. So you figure there always will be some nerves in the debut. He gave up 5 earned and 3 2/3 against Santa Clara. They stretched him out to 81 pitches last weekend and pitched well. 2 earned in 5 innings. Did strike out 7 against Ohio State. He's been pitching in and out of trouble all night tonight. 3-1 fouled off on a big swing by Maxwell.
He has, but he's been able to get out of it. I mean, he's been able to use his defense, and so far he hasn't, overdone it on the walk side of it, right? Creating innings and stress for himself at, as much.
Just outside. Tried to chase the black on the outer edge, and instead it's 1st and 2nd. Nobody out for Jack Basir.
Well, that ball was off the plate. I mean, I think a lot of people would have said it was right on the edge. It wasn't. It was off the plate. And to be honest with you, that's a great take by Maxwell with a guy in scoring position, and you're up there trying to either move him or drive him in. It's a good job of taking that pitch. That was off the plate.
Basir making a very positive impact even in limited time. First year coming in to the TCU program, a Pepperdine transfer, was 8th in the WCC in batting average last year, hit .345 for the Waves. Showing bunt here as it's fouled off. 0-1. Second team all conference a season ago. 2 really good seasons. Actually one really good season. He's in his second year now as a sophomore, coming to TCU, but on the all freshman team as well for the WCC. A lot of good baseball in that conference too, even though it's a mid-major. Showing bunt again. This time gets it down. Markle has one play and it's to first. Job well done by Basir for a TCU team that does like to sacrifice, third most sacrifice bunts in the Big 12 last year.
They do what they need to do to try to score runs. Like, they don't say, okay, we're never not going to bunt. Okay, or they don't say, we're going to bunt every time we get a runner on first base, starting in the first inning. What they believe is where they are in their order, what the moment is during the game, what the timing of it is. And I love it. I mean, I think, you know, oftentimes early in the game, if you get a chance, or mid to early game, move runners from first to second to 90 feet away to them, I think you do it. I think you make their defense have to make a choice whether they want to come in or go back. I just, you know, and then even you get a 2-strike, you know, battle as the hitter now with less than 2 outs. All you got to do is roll the ball. Say all you got to do. You got to roll the ball back in the middle. There's more to it than that, right? I know I probably said that to my hitters too many times.
A line shot. That's caught on Dina. Read it the whole way. As Silva's retired for the second out.
Yeah, that's a great play. A great swing. I mean, if you're sitting here neutral and didn't have a team to pull for, you'd go, man, that was awesome. Ball was hit hard on the line. Shortstop ran over, made a great play. The runner at third didn't go and get doubled off at third. A lot of young runners would do that. He froze like he's supposed to.
Now it's up to Carson Bowen with 2 outs. Fastball down low on Bowen. A lot of the rating systems have him as one of the top 5 Big 12 prospects in next year's draft when he's eligible, from Anaheim Hills, California. Change up, just catches the edge. 1-1. Can Markle do the dance again, get out of some trouble? Base runners every inning for TCU. That one misses outside on the change. You get Bowen coming in, had a really nice fall, backing up a freshman All-American season a year ago. Coach Sarlos says he reminds him a little bit of Zach Humphreys. He's a great player for TCU in the Angels minor league organization now. 3-1 count coming here to Bowen.
Got to be careful. You got a base open in this situation. You don't have to give in. You can go to secondary or off the plate if you think so.
Oh, big hack. Went secondary there on a changeup.
Change up away, no situation. Now you've thrown it on 3-1. Now it kind of switched back to the hitter's mind. He's going, well, he just threw me a 3-1 changeup. You know, is he going to go back to that changeup, or what's he going to do on 3-2? So the pitcher's got a lot of options.
Takes a fastball up and in. Bowen draws the free pass, and it's bases loaded for the talented freshman Chase Brunson.
Well, he made the right type of pitch coming off of the changeup, right? He went that changeup away, tries to dart a fastball in on him and try to lock that barrel up, or get him to freeze and take strike 3. Just wasn't able to execute it.
That gets pitching coach Sam Peraza out of the dugout. Former San Diego State Aztec and a 6-year pitching coach for his alma mater, just like Willie Bloomquist now back at his alma mater, Arizona State. Well, Brunson tapped the grounder right back to Markle in the first inning, but he's having a very good year. 378 already as a freshman. Great eye at the plate. As ASU starts to get some arms loose down there in the pen. That was Adam Behrens who goes to grab a glove, the freshman righty. What's the message, though, if you're Peraza heading out there, bases loaded situation?
Calming him down, catch your breath. You know, the sequence in the coach's mind is just, hey, just go talk to him. You know, let's remind him. And then you remind him of what the plan is, how you want to attack him, and then also what the first pitch is going to be so he can get that mindset already set up.
Goes change up on the first pitch, 1-0. Swing and a miss.
Backed him up, double him up with another one.
TCU so far 0 for 7 with runners on base today. Inside edge. Nice pitch back to the fastball. And it is 1-2. Markle has a lot of postseason pitching experience going back to his days at Grand Canyon, trying to tap into that right here in a big spot. Sliced foul.
The fastball before that last pitch, it was the end that he took. That's what he was trying to do on the 3-2 pitch to the hitter before with Bowen, and he wasn't quite able to execute. What happens sometimes, pitchers will try to, when they go in, they know they want to put more on it, and they don't have to. They got to just be just as relaxed as if they were trying to throw the ball away, and they'll hump up and tense up, and they'll throw it out of the zone.
Watches that change up down in the dirt. Pretty good take. And it's 2-2. TCU's had all the early season magic. 10-0. Half those wins by 1 run. ASU a bit more up and down at 5-4 in a big early moment. Hit hard to the left side. It's fumbled. A low throw that went really slow to the bag is late. And TCU steals a run on what should have been out 3.
Well, they do still run right here. And I thought he was still going to have time because it kind of got underneath him, defending the ball under his glove just a little bit, and he kind of flipped through it. You know, he didn't put enough on that throw. I think if he'd have put a little more on it, his throw would have outrun the runner. See, he took a little something off of it. Great job of hustling to second base.
Keeps the inning alive. Tough break, too, for Markle. Executed a great pitch to get out of it. It seemed like Karstetter was just sort of off balance that whole time. Never really had himself set.
No, it's a great, I mean, it's a great point, but it got underneath him, and he kind of came up, and then all realized it was still down, and he got further between his legs instead of out in front of him. And then he would, you know, then he was trying to make that throw, and I do believe if he'd have put a little more on that throw, that the ball would have outrun the runner.
It goes down as a fielder's choice.
I should say got there before the runner, not outrun the runner.
I get what you were saying, though.
Yeah.
Same idea.
After I said it, I was kind of like, how does the ball outrun the runner?
No, Ryder Robinson, the 1-2 count. Yeah, those deep breaths for Markle. Was a great swimmer growing up. So you know he has good lung capacity. Trying to bounce back. Bounces that in the dirt. Good block by Campos. One of the hardest things to do mentally as a pitcher when your defense lets you down behind you.
Yes, and it is true, but these guys, if they're trained right, which they are, and they've been around the game long enough, and they have, they're supposed to be able to move on and move to the next moment. And so far, he's made some quality pitches.
Robinson keeps himself alive, 2-2. Foul ball towards some fans in the second deck here. Robinson was a really good part of the bottom of the order last night. 3 hits, including an RBI double and a run scored. Way outside of the slider, 3-2. Robinson also had a big sack bunt to set up the winning run in the 11th. And there's nowhere to put him. 3-2, bases loaded, 1 run already in for TCU as the Horned Frog fans come to life.
Yeah, infielder's got to go across on a ground ball, too. They can't go to the short bag.
Bounced it, goes to the changeup and walks in a run. Should have been out of the inning. Instead, it is 2 across for TCU.
You're exactly right. Had a chance to get out of the inning. Hit her before on a ground ball to third. I thought he came back and made some quality pitches in that last at-bat. Wasn't quite able to finish it off. He missed for the last 2 pitches. Chose to go to his changeup in the full count, trying to get the hitter to get out in front, get excited in that bases-loaded situation. Robinson didn't buy off on it.
Pitch count as a result of this inning starting to get up there for Markle. 83 pitches. Tough play for Kevin Karstetter, who looks on trying to redeem himself whenever he can next, as it's fouled off by Chatinier.
Same rule applies to the defenders as the pitcher, and it's hard to do. You got to move on, right? Well, the pitcher really has to, because he gets the ball back immediately. Well, the defenders stand out there with just their glove, you know, kind of going, oh,
you just got to hope.
I can't believe I did that, right? And it just keeps coming at you, and you know, you don't want to use the word block it out of your mind, but you do. You got to move on, because the next one surely may come right back to you.
Swing and a miss. Good change up there. We'll see if they eventually change that scoring. For now, they're saying infield single to Brunson, originally ruled a fielder's choice. 8th batter to hit this inning for TCU, Peyton Chatinier, the Ole Miss transfer. Inside, ball 2. A 2-2 count.
He's been in a bunch of 2-2 counts tonight. And I mean, he's gotten out of some jams, but he's been in some lengthy 2-2 counts, 3-2 counts.
Really riding that changeup. You know, the big pitches, though, he was able to locate that pitch in the early innings tie, and right now it's abandoned him a little bit here these last couple batters. 3-2 once again.
Ben, this is going to be interesting to see what he goes with. He went with a changeup last time, 3-2. I think he's got to go with his fastball.
Swing and a miss, right back to the changeup. He trusted it one more time. But 2-run score. Karstetter can't make the play on a slow grounder to third. This is how the first run came across from Chase Brunson. Should have been the inning. Instead, TCU stays alive, and then Ryder Robinson walks home a second run, and it's 2-0 TCU through 3.5.
You're so much more than just a landowner. You're a gardener, a groundskeeper, and a landscaper. That's why you need versatile, durable Kubota equipment.
3 bands, 1 stadium. Def Leppard, Journey, the Steve Miller Band. Together. 3 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame icons. Their biggest hits. August 12th, Globe Life Field. Tickets on sale now at DefLeppardJourney2024.com.
Sometimes you just need a little wonderful in your life. So why not go to a place made for it? Arlington, Texas. It's a city made for fun and excitement and all the things you love to do. And even some things you didn't know you loved until you came here and found them. Come see for yourself why Arlington is a world of wonderful.
That's just a dream look right there. Fresh rack of hats here inside Globe Life Field. Texas Rangers. And we got the Dogs. There's some nachos in there as well. That's right by our media elevators. That's always hard to walk past that and not indulge. I may have indulged during the break between games. We got Globe Life Field. About to be the 4th full season of baseball. 2020 hosted the World Series, but with limited fans, and it's a beautiful facility. Capacity just over 40,000. Very premium heavy too. It feels like a big park when you're in here, but the way they've set it up, all the sight lines are great no matter where you're sitting. And opening day in just a few weeks, end of March, for the Texas Rangers against the Cubs. They'll unfurl that World Series banner, and a great host for us each of the last 3 weekends as Campos leads off the 4th for ASU.
Tell you what, I'd have got lost in that hat shopping area. I'd have stayed there a while.
Heard you got lost at the breakfast restaurant.
I sure did. I mean, I got in there and just got messy with it this morning, I'm telling you.
0-2 here to Campos. I'm glad you made it here. I mean, probably might have lost you. The breakfast tacos. I mean, geez. 0-2 count here.
That's back-to-back mornings for me, too.
Ooh. Yeah. Well, tomorrow's an early one for us. 11 a.m. We move the times up here. It's getaway day on a Sunday. Smack to the left side. One hopper. Silva backs up, shows off the cannon, and easily makes that play to retire Campos.
Tell you what, if you're a young infielder and you're watching this game, this is what you do at a drop step. That ball's hit right at him. It's going to be a hard hit. He knows he can't come up and get it. He takes a drop step, gets back to it. Watch this right here. Drop step back into his glove, right foot down. I'm going to show you my arm. Great defensive play.
Good looking play there. As it's Tobias taking a ball. He grounded out the runner on the 1st inning. Team's leading RBI man last year against TCU's leading pitcher. Fun matchup to watch in a swing and a miss. We get so many of these. That's my favorite part, honestly, Ty, of these early season tournaments. You get stud hitters versus stud pitchers, different conferences, guys with tons of experience. See these guys go right after each other in a classic battle of who's better, at least in that moment. 1-2 the count now.
Oh, absolutely. And a part of what you're saying right there is the mano a mano kind of, I'm coming after you, and pitcher hitter.
Got him with a change.
Oh, sure did. It was a good looking pitch. And I'll tell you the other part I like about it, these players love playing teams that they don't historically get to play. Now watch this. Look at that thing just take off and run away from him. And they love that. Like, they're used to playing the teams in their conference, right? The midweeks, they're usually used to it because it's local and, geographic. But these things, these tournaments like this, get to go play somebody from out of the country. I mean, it's big league stuff in a big league park.
Foul back for Karstetter. This is your opportunity now, since you're never guaranteed balls at you in the field, to try to make up for some earlier mistakes. Karstetter, though, at the plate has been really good, transferring in from the JUCO level, hitting .324, but couldn't make that play in the field to end the last inning. Ended up in a 2-spot frame for TCU. Count 1-1 as that cut fastball goes outside. Sent to the left side, but can't get over the glove of Silva. Anthony Silva suctions in baseballs like it's nothing. Another 1-2-3 inning. Cole Klecker dealing as we're through 4. Silva making it look easy.
Your pride and joy is measured in acres. Keep them looking their best with the Kubota lineup. Versatile Sidekick utility vehicles. The #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience. Professional grade mowers for a professional cut. It's equipment built with one purpose: to get the job done right.
The United Football League has arrived, and Arlington, your Renegades are back.
That's what I'm talking about.
Cheer on the Renegades and kick off the first ever UFL season at Choctaw Stadium.
This was a dime.
Bring the whole family and be a part of football history.
A little razzle-dazzle.
Head to theUFL.com and buy your Renegades tickets today.
TCU is here to hit the ball.
Get it right in the feels. Look at how get it right in the.
Get it.
There we go. Some ASU hats in the house. Arizona State, such a proud program. Over 3,000 all-time wins. They last won the College World Series in 1981. They've been to Omaha, though, 22 times in their history, last in 2010. Right now, just feeling it at the plate, though. They just can't buy a hit. I'm sure you've been in that position as a coach for your team. It's just like you just need one, right, to maybe set off a domino effect, get some confidence, but they're feeling it right now. No hits through 4 against a premier pitcher in Cole Klecker.
Yeah, and they put some okay swings on the ball. I mean, it's not like they're, swinging and missing at everything. But coming in to yesterday, and 2 hit yesterday, their offense was their answer, right? That's how they were going to get it done, and for the most part, and they just hadn't put it together yet. But hitting is, as you've heard it 100 times, it's contagious.
TCU knows all about that, with how they've gotten so much production throughout the order. 2-2 count to Sam Myers. 2, 3, and 4 due up to start the 5th. Stays alive on the foul back.
They're talking about the history of Arizona State and great players. If you go out there and you start looking on their outfield wall, or the jerseys they've retired, or the names they've retired, and all of a sudden you start getting flashbacks about, how many great players they had, not just collegiately, but professionally.
Slow roller. Oh, bad break. It hits the bag. Would have been a tough play anyway to get Myers without how well he runs, how slow that was hit off the bat. Just kind of squirmed past Markle, and an infield single for TCU.
Well, crazy game this is right here. Ball gets through the pitcher. Odina's coming in. Oh, he tries to backhand it. Almost gets it. And watch this. Odina's going to try to think about getting in front of the bag. He realizes he can't get there, and then he's going to try to play it back off of it. Hope he gets a hop over the bag. And catches part of the bag. I think we're going to see a pitching change.
Markle at 95 pitches after that back and forth. That's the most he's thrown so far in an ASU uniform. And Willie Bloomquist makes the calls. We go to the pen. And Markle really battled. 4+ innings for the Grand Canyon transfer. New pitcher coming in on the other side. Cardinal Markle really hung in there, grinded over 95 pitches. 4+ innings for Markle, 2 runs on 5 hits, 3 walks, and a couple Ks, and he gives way to Adam Behrens, really unique-looking freshman on the mound. He's a true freshman from Gurnee, Illinois, in the Chicago area. He'll go at a 3/4 arm angle. Rides a lot of sliders and changeups. 10-mile-an-hour difference between those 2 pitches. And while he's struggled so far, he had a great fall with command, and they're really hoping to get him on track. Behrens could be a big piece out of this pen.
We're going to get our first look at him. And you're right on about the arm slots. Kind of a low 3/4. A lot of times when they do that, use deception, try to throw a lot of 2-seamers, make that ball move from left to right with sink to it, a little high on that fastball, trying to dodge barrels or get bad contact out of them.
And he starts with a slider to Curtis Byrne at a hard double last time up in the 4th. And with Markle up to 95 pitches, having already given up a hard contact off the bat of Byrne, makes sense. Willie Bloomquist goes to his pen here as the fastball misses upstairs 2-0. He had just 2 walks to 20 strikeouts in fall ball, did Behrens. Was excellent. Command has still been there, but giving up a lot of hits. 14 hits and 7 1/3 over 3 appearances. 7 earned given up in his first 3 collegiate starts. Or appearances, I should say. Those have all come out of the pen. Upstairs, and it's 3-0 on Byrne.
Well, a guy throws strikes, right? And you got a TCU team that likes to run the bases. They like to put pressure on you. They like to run, like to hit and run. He's had to pick over there a couple times. Maybe been a little disruptive for him. And he gets back in the count now. And then as the count grows, I mean, you create options for TCU, right? Do I want to go 3-1, run and hit? You know, there are different things we can, do, or just stand in there and take our reps.
Oh, kind of an awkward stumble there. Myers was barely off the bag, yet no call for time as he kind of walks that one off. That was an awkward little lunge there.
It was kind of like he stubbed his spike. We're going to get another look at it. See if he almost gets the toe of his. Oh, right. Oh. Whoa. That left foot came off. Yeah. But that left foot came off.
Swing and a miss. Good fastball with some sink to it, and it's 3-2. It's one of those, if you go super slow-mo,
yeah,
like that was a tag.
The glove might have been on there when his left foot came off. Let's see if they're going to start the runner now.
They do. Chop back up the middle. Could be 2 anyway, but it takes a high hop right over the glove of Mendoza. Runners go first to third. It's been that sort of last half hour for Arizona State in the field.
Kind of a tough luck. It looked like on starting the runner becomes a run and hit, that it looks like he may run into a double play with that ball going towards second base, but then it takes a big hop in between that crease right there at the turf dirt and gets not only over the second baseman's head, but also on Dina. Look at that thing take off. How about Myers? Slide, pops up, immediately goes to third base.
Last 3 ground balls for TCU. One with the bases loaded, should have been a force play. Wasn't made. Now you get little dribbler, infield single. What could have been a double play ball takes a nasty hop, and that's, sometimes when you're hot, and that's how TCU is going right now, and it can be the opposite if you're Arizona State. Swing and a miss here by Maxwell. Just feels like every break going against the Sun Devils right now, just in one of those slumps.
Well, that's that old hitting's contagious kind of thing, right? I mean, you get a couple hits and you roll it through, and then you land on a few.
Fastball outside, 2-1. To Logan Maxwell, who has singled, walked, and scored already.
It's a little bit that old philosophy. Your dad would tell you, well, if you don't strike out, you get a chance to get a hit. Strike out, you got no chance.
Works the count to 3-1. when you're putting balls in play, especially with team speed, and you know that added level of pressure's there, only lessens that margin for error. Maxwell fouls it off, 3-2.
I wouldn't be shocked again if they start him up. 3-2. The 4 hole's already open because they're having to hold you. So if you decide to pull a ball, create a little bit of motion, make the catcher decide if they're going to throw through. If you do swing through, you got to have a first and third defense on.
Everybody stays put, and the changeup misses outside. Bases full of Horned Frogs with nobody out. Jack Basir coming up. West Coast kid from California, was a Pepperdine Wave. A chance to make a big impact right here. Just 12 at-bats so far for a guy who was second team all WCC last year as a freshman. And takes a fastball inside. Barron's even tried to take a little bit off that just to get the placement, but feeling it right now. First reliever out of the pen, replacing Connor Markle. That catches the zone. Little slider there. Markle responsible for the runner at third before his book will be closed. Shot back up the middle. Base hit Basir as he comes through. 1 run in. The throw hits the mound. That allows Byrne to score. Everybody takes another base. And it's 4-0 TCU.
I'll tell you what, they've worn out the middle of the field. Oh, that's 3 straight hits. Right back up the middle. Even one earlier in the game. But this one right here is almost electrocuted through the middle of the field. Kind of a tough luck. The center fielder comes up and throws, and it hits off the side of the mound. You know, being as a first baseman, you got to cut that ball before it even gets to the mound. That's why sometimes those relay guys either get in front of the mound or behind it, one or the other. It ricocheted off, and you're right. Everybody moved 90 feet more off the throw from center.
That's an E8 on Jackson. Although, as you point out, that's not totally on him. He's just throwing the ball to an area. And you also rely on your cutoff men to read that. But he's charged with the error, Basir the RBI. And this now is setting up for another big inning, a chance for TCU really to create some separation. Still nobody out, runners on second and third in a 4-run game. And ASU quick to get action up. Matt Cornelius, JUCO transfer. It's an old-fashioned left-hander we might see sooner rather than later. As the book officially closed on Connor Markle. One of those classic outings too, Ty. You look at the box score, you go, all right, 4 innings, 3 earned runs. Guess he's still struggling to adapt. I mean, he was much better than that. Should have been out of the last inning with no runs, and gives up the inherited runner here.
I agree. I mean, and again, you know, they had some longer at-bats early in the game, but he was able to manage it, right? Navigate through it and get out of it. Eventually, they've been able to get to it. Some tough luck ground balls up the middle.
Silva in on the hands. That one hangs up nicely for Mendoza. He makes the play. Finally, ASU able to get it out.
You know what's interesting about that? They chose to play back in the middle, down 4. They were going to surrender another run on a routine ground ball in the middle. They didn't want to give up 2, so they said, let's play back. We feel like our offense can come back with no outs, and they're going to do the same thing with 1 out. And because of it, if they'd been up, that ball would have gone over his head.
Would have given up 2, yeah. And a good call as Bowen takes a first pitch curveball just out of the zone. Carson Bowen made a big impact right away as a freshman last year. Here he tags one to center. That fooled Jackson a little bit. Came back and out in on the ball. Deep enough for Maxwell to tag, and it's 5-0 TCU. Basir over to third on the sac fly as Bowen has his 15th RBI this year.
Less than 2 outs, 90 feet away, runner at third. You got to get them in, play winning baseball. Ground balls up the middle, or a well hit ball to center field. Got him in from third base.
It goes down as an unearned run, since it would have been just first and second, though. After the RBI single by Basir, throwing error allowed Maxwell to take the extra base, and now he scores on the sac flies. Chase Brunson comes up. And with Cole Klecker pitching the way he is, 5 runs feels like pretty big delta right now.
It does. And, you know, what's interesting, it's been a long half inning, too. So he's been sitting in that dugout a while. I mean, he'd take it. He'd much rather be sitting over there than and have his guys scoring runs than not. But
fastball taken up high. It's 1-2 to Brunson, who's part of that play last inning. Little roller to the left side. Should have been the final out. Here it's a called strike 3. Good curveball freezes Brunson, and that ends the inning. But 3 runs come home. The big one, Jack Basir. 2-run single with the bases loaded to give ASU a 4-0 lead. Horned Frogs, I should say, a 4-0 lead. TCU adds another on a sac fly, and they're up by 5. Well, this is pregame. TCU, they have a unique way of getting ready for games, Ty. We noticed it yesterday. Oh, yeah, bring it in. Let's go. Get the hugs going.
Look at it.
They're locked in.
They are locked in. Look at coaches preach all the time. They look at it. They got something to say to each other, making sure they make eye contact, a handshake, a hug. Coaches talk all the time about culture, right? You hear that word nonstop now in college athletics. Well, you don't have culture unless you've got great teammates. And right now, these guys kind of know, but they don't know 100% sure. They'll never be a part of something this special again in their life, like being in that dugout with their teammates. And what they're doing with their senior leadership and what their coaching staff is creating that bond, helping them. You know, it's okay to, you know, go up there and hug your teammate and shake his hand and get his attention and make sure he's locked in for the game. I love it.
It's Peyton Tolley doing the handshaking, hugging, whatever you want to call it. First pitch fouled off into the seats by Isaiah Jackson.
Well, you can call it teammate recognition. Get ready. Get ready, man. It's time to go. Look, they come out of the outfield after, you know, probably a couple meetings. Maybe that's their way of saying, hey, when you head to the dugout, you're going to shake my hand or I'm going to hug you, and we're locked in and we're ready to go.
Inside on a cutter. Whatever TCU has been doing, it's worked. 10-0 start, best since the mid-'80s. Going back to last year now, Horned Frogs 8-1 at Globe Life Field. Cole Klecker loves this place as well. He's always pitched well here at Globe Life. Goes down low on a 1-1 changeup, 2-1.
Well, yesterday Kirk Saunders was telling us, remember, that they come over here and practice when the weather's bad. So they've got familiarity with the ballpark. How it plays, visually, backdrop for the hitters, the defenders. Really and truly, for me, it's advantageous for the infielders to come from that turf to the dirt. Whichever it is or all of it is, they do play good here.
2-2 is popped up. Maxwell in and makes the catch. First down for Klecker, who's allowed just the 2 walks so far and is in pretty good shape too on that pitch count. 63 pitches as we play through 4 1/3 for him. You look at Cole Klecker, Chandler, Arizona native, the sophomore, 4 postseason starts last year, gave up 6 earned in 21 innings, 5 walks, 17 strikeouts. And you're talking about the best competition in the country in the postseason. 1-0 here to Mendoza. And a 3.72 ERA as a whole. There's a called strike on that new cut fastball he's added in. I thought it was really telling too from Kirk Saarloos, not to be content with the arsenal. You figure you come back. Now teams have a year of film on you. They know what to expect, and Klecker was not content with the current set of pitches he had. And that cut fastball's been a really nice add this year. He's kept hitters off balance, and here the fastball rides inside for a 1-2 count.
Now, Roger Clemens won 3 Cy Youngs without his splitter, and then decides, oh, I'm going to bring that into my arsenal, and just adds a couple more.
Line shot, foul. Watch out, John Wolf over at first. Our umpire had to do the limbo over there.
Sometimes, and he didn't get hit, so that's all I kind of giggle about this, because we've all, look, I coached the bases, dodged, you know, foul balls my whole life, for the majority of my life as a coach. It's just some days that thing just, that baseball just is hunting you down, and wherever you go, you just can't get out of the way of it.
Fortunately, he's able to get into a crouch. 1-2 to Mendoza. He has been locked in. Mendoza, only source of offense this weekend for ASU. When Mendoza has not been at the plate, Arizona State 0 for 38 with 16 strikeouts in the non-Mendoza at-bats.
This young man's got a flat swing. What I mean by that, his path from his hands where he sets up, that barrel doesn't drop, doesn't fall down. He holds that barrel in its path. And I mean, it is direct. You can see as he starts those hands right by his ear, that barrel stays up. And when he starts his swing, look at that thing. I mean, it stays in the hitting area a long time and on that same path. He, from that position, he can get to the middle and the top of the baseball. And when he does get to the middle, going through it downward is when you create that backspin that carries these balls out of here as well.
Swing and a miss. This time Klecker wins the battle, and he went away from the fastball and the cutter, goes to the changeup for his 5th strikeout. That brings up Brandon Compton from Buckeye, Arizona, looking to give ASU a spark, and he's coming off an amazing offseason. Everybody says the Cape Cod League is the best. You know, I'm from Wisconsin, so I'm going to be a little selfish here, Ty. Northwoods League should not get slept on. It is right up there with the Cape. Just doesn't have the same sort of name recognition, but Compton played for the Duluth Huskies. Single season Northwoods League RBI record, 71 RBI in a summer wood bat league last year. I mean, insane numbers. And he goes up the middle. Finally a base hit for Arizona State as Brandon Compton goes back up the box. We just had to flash up and get the Northwoods League mentioned.
There you go.
To get it going.
But it's a great summer league. It truly is. I'm going to tell you something. When I walked into practice on Thursday, this young man was taking BP, and he was knocking that right field bleachers, just putting holes in the seats out there during BP. And he finally gets in there and gets a base hit back up the middle. Maybe a spark that they need to get him going.
Swing and a miss now by Andina. First player outside of Ethan Mendoza to get a hit all weekend. And Compton's coming off Tommy John surgery from high school. He's a two-way guy. He can throw 96 as a lefty on the mound. Right now they're focusing on him at the plate. Andina fouls it back 0-2.
Power comes pitching wise, like you hear people say power fastball, power breaker, power this, power that. Klecker tonight has it's a good fastball. Like it's 91, the cutter's 88, which is unbelievable in my opinion. Make that thing move right to left at that kind of velo. But he's just been powering the corners of the plate, and very few of his pitches have landed in the middle white part of the plate. He has just been on the edge with power. I wouldn't call it finesse. I mean, he's just been attacking it on those outer halves of the plate.
Andina needs a second here to get back into the box after fouling one off. Just the third base runner of the night. A couple walks in each of the first 2 innings combined for Klecker. Just misses on an 0-2 fastball.
Right there's what I mean. That's a power. He's powering those things into those edges of the plate, just off of it, just on it.
Josh misses back to that cut look. And it's 2-2 to Andina. Also just the way you can carry yourself as a pitcher. I mean, he just means business on the mound. There's nothing that would indicate he has any doubt about his stuff. Andina hits it pretty well to left center. Brunson goes back, has a beat, and makes the catch in the gap. Arizona State finally gets a hit, but nothing more than that. Good start for Klecker. 5-0 lead for the Horned Frogs after 5.
Watch me. Watch me jump, dive, and splash. Put me by a pool, I'll be soaked in a flash. A girl in the water to swim like a fish. Just 2 simple legs. That was my wish. I'm a sea turtle, shark, a seal on a slide. This is my day of fun, with nothing to hide. Watch me. Pioneers in orthotic and prosthetic technology at Shriners Children's. The most amazing care anywhere.
Kane Brown in the Air Tour. Saturday, September 14th, Globe Life Field. Special guests, Cole Swindell, Locash, and Ray Lynn. Crossover superstar Kane Brown Live. So thank God I get to on sale now at KaneBrownMusic.com. Presented by AEG Presents.
Beautiful Saturday night in Arlington. Look at Globe Life Field. We reached over 70,000 combined in attendance first 2 weekends. 5 of the 10 largest crowds all season in college baseball, and the 3 largest. Last Saturday night, over 16,000 in the house. As TCU starts this inning, slow roller to the right side, and Robinson is thrown out 4-3 on the putout as Mendoza makes the play. And more of the same this weekend, and just the appetizer too for the season. TCU will be back here end of May, defending their title in the Big 12 as we see how this inning got underway. Nice job of Adam Behrens in his second inning of relief.
He's had the 1 walk, but it's been strikes. I mean, it's not overpowering. This is finesse, making the ball move 2 different directions with his 2-seamer, arm action, slider, but it's been a lot of strikes.
Just misses on that fastball to shot and yay. Another ground ball, a charge by Karstetter. Good throw across the diamond. Attacked that ball, and it's 2 outs quickly recorded by Behrens. Pitching has not been the issue whatsoever for ASU. I mean, the bats, obviously, when you haven't scored a run in the tournament, but they've kept their teams in games. And TCU such a potent offense. Without a couple bad defensive plays, this would be a 2-3 run game. And Karstetter makes up for that earlier misplay.
Well, he was coming to get that one. He wasn't going to be any hesitation. He wasn't going to be passive about it. He was going to go attack that ball or address that ball is the right way to say it for an infielder. 2 quick outs, too.
Yet to get a 1-2-3 inning today. Change up just misses, and you go back to Yesterday, TCU in 11 trips to the plate, only 1-2-3 inning against them. Just shows you how hard it is to get a clean inning against the Horned Frogs. So good up and down the lineup. Called strike taken on 2-0.
That's lineup balance. That means they just keep coming at you. They just keep coming at you with guys who can hit. Number one, guys who will take walks, are willing to take walks, just grind at bats.
Comes inside on him. 2-2 the count to Sam Myers.
You heard Kirk during his interview. He said, look, we may have more depth than we've ever had here. I mean, that's saying a lot, by the way.
Tap to the right side. It will stay in play. 3 ground ball outs. Nicely done by Adam Behrens. As we go to the bottom of the 6th, ASU needs some offense, though. It's still a 5-run lead for TCU.
You're so much more than just a landowner. You're a gardener, a groundskeeper, and a landscaper. That's why you need versatile, durable Kubota equipment.
3 bands, 1 stadium. Def Leppard, Journey, the Steve Miller Band, together. 3 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame icons. Their biggest hits, August 12th, Globe Life Field. Tickets on sale now at DefLeppardJourney2024.com.
Chris Stapleton's All-American Roadshow. Saturday, June 15th, Globe Life Field, with special guests Tedeschi Trucks Band and Marcus King. On sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Chris Stapleton's All-American Roadshow. New album, Higher, available now.
Back in Arlington, Texas, it's Globe Life Field, home of the Texas Rangers, who've been tremendous hosts for us each of the last 3 weekends. A little more juice, too, in this part of the state than we've ever had before. First ever World Series title for the Rangers. They'll unfurl the banner in just a few weeks when they host the Cubs to open the 2024 season. Made it a couple times back in the early 2010s, but never got over the hump. And all that heartbreak, being a strike away against the Cardinals in 2011, to come back, win it over a decade later. What a moment for this baseball town.
That blank space is going to be filled in.
Fastball up and out in this great sports complex, too. You have the big football stadium we know as Jerry World. It is right next door here. Who'd have thought Rangers get a title before the Cowboys?
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. I mean, I thought the Rangers organization has always had, you know, scouting department was always good. And, you know, you just mentioned they were a strike away, you know, and a handful of other times close to winning the first one. And I know this, when you do things right and you start at the top, and administration, ownership, when things are done right, championships are coming your way.
To the right side, it's shot and yay. Nice play. The thing you just said, too, about from the top down, you can really apply to all the teams we've had this weekend, especially these 2 teams right here, TCU and Arizona State, with how they run things. Yeah. Even if the success might not be there yet for ASU and Willie Bloomquist, pieces are all there. And I'm sure for you as a former coach, like, that's all you want to see. It starts there, and the success you feel like will follow.
It's coming out. It is. I mean, Willie, he's going to get this thing rolling. He's got it rolling. But they had 8 drafted players last year. I mean, they're starting to get the right guys, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of these young freshman arms they've been throwing. You know, they started a freshman last night. When those guys continue to grow and get better, this offense is going to hit. At some point in time, these guys are going to hit, and maybe this inning. But, you know, they've got it in them. They're physical, got bat speed. I've watched their bat speed now for you know, what, 1.5 games, a little over that.
McLean fouls it off on 0-2 after Harris Williams grounded out to the right side.
I don't look at any of these guys' swings. Not that I'm the swing guru, but I don't look at any of these guys' swings and go, he's never going to hit a breaker running away from him, or he's never going to hit anything on the outer half of the plate. I mean, they got good balance in their positioning, and when they're in their at bats and their stance and their swings, and so eventually it's going to happen.
Back up the middle, nice piece of hitting on 0-2. There's Nick McLean, first base hit of the year. He has been waiting for that for some time. Off injury, drew a couple walks, and now he's got the base hit. That has to feel good.
Oh, absolutely does. And every once, look at him keep his head down that ball. Good bat speed, right back up through the middle. Both these teams have worn out that area right there, back through the middle, just past the pitchers with line drives and ground balls.
Now Campos digs in, takes a called strike. So Compton finally ended the drought of non-Mendoza hits last inning. You get McLean his first of the year, coming back from injury. Now Campos, preseason all Pac-12. And just what you were talking about, this Arizona State offense at current, not a reflection of what they are long term. He takes a ball here, a career .372 hitter, yet he's off to a 8 for 37 start, 216. That's just not who Campos is going to be with the numbers at the end of the year.
You're right about that. It's a short stroke.
Fouls it off the other way, 1-2. Starting to get some guys milling about in their bullpen, but Klecker's still in a pretty good spot right now. 87 pitches going into this AB.
You're right. They're moving. And
here's the 1-2. Chops through the hole on the right side. Byrne tried to dive but couldn't get there. McLean easily goes first to third in a first two-player on inning for Arizona State. Runners at the corners for Jacob Tobias.
We were just discussing how they're gonna hit, and now all of a sudden they get the ball back through the middle. Got run at first base. First baseman having to hold him on. Can't get out there to it. Now he's sitting first and third, nobody out. Good part of your order. It's just a part of the order that these guys have got to hit for you.
This is a guy you one up with two men on. Tobias with a drive to left field. Maxwell ranges back. Should be plenty deep to get McLean home as the catch is made. And the man who led the team in RBI last year has Arizona State's first run of the weekend as they're on the board.
Now get a little bit of an exhale, right? You score a run. Some good feelings, some positive vibes in your dugout. Hadn't had many chances to run in there and high-five each other for scoring a run. Earned it with two good swings. Really three. I thought he hit that ball pretty well. But you got to continue it. You got to keep that going, right? A base hit here, a double, something like that here. Kind of create a little more momentum for yourself offensively.
Kevin Karstetter trying to keep the line going and get Klecker out of this game. That's another emphasis right now for ASU. Just get to the bullpen. It was up and down yesterday. Closer Ben Abel blew a save for TCU. So as long as you keep this thing close, you never know. 1-0 count here. On the snap throw as that fastball runs outside. Figured Klecker's got one, maybe two batters left.
Yeah.
Kirk Saarloos would love to get him out of this inning clean and get a reliever fresh into the game next inning.
Yeah, I wouldn't say more than two more hitters.
This one's fouled back by Karstetter. Saw Chase Hoover, the lefty, getting loose earlier. Double-barreled action down there. Luis Rodriguez, honorable mention, all Big 12 reliever a season ago. Foul tip, strike two, and it's 2-2. 6 different pitchers, 5 relievers. Rodriguez did throw an inning yesterday, but had a very efficient, clean inning with 2 strikeouts, so theoretically he could be used again. The 2-2. Poke to the right side, a really long run for Myers. It will go foul. Chotney also trying to give chase.
You can see like they're taking a deep breath, kind of exhaling a little bit. If that ball didn't, I guarantee when that ball was first hit, he thought, oh no, that's gonna fall in, it's gonna bleed in there for at least a single, maybe a double. I'm in line with you right now. The decision about if he doesn't get this guy, the decision to move on with him.
He misses high, 3-2.
Yeah, runner at first is going to be off on the pitch. The first baseman will go play behind him, kind of give him some space. You'll see him drift behind him, create a little more fielding space so they don't shoot a ball down the line for a double.
Fouled off. Cole Klecker had 7 quality starts and 17 outings last year. And out away from getting his first quality start of the year as they ramp him up for the first time. Third start of the year for Klecker, looking to finish it off. Another 3-2. Called strike 3. Rings up Carstetter, and Cole Klecker jogging off the mound, gives up a run, but gets through 6 innings at the top of the zone. 5-1 TCU as we go to the 7th. Hey, you're in a big league ballpark, might as well enjoy every inch of it. But this is just part of the TCU family right here, in between innings. And Cole Klecker getting hugs all around. 6 innings, 1 run, limiting Arizona State to 3 hits, couple walks, and 6 Ks. He got a little fortunate on that last strike call, but regardless, Ty, very good outing for Klecker.
That is right there. What you're looking at is respect for the effort. I appreciate as a teammate the effort. Look at the smile on his face, his teammates, his coaching staff. Sarloos was the first one to go over there and put his arms around him. And well, I'll tell you what, respect and love for the effort.
Curtis Byrne, first pitch. A hard shot to left. Man, Williams had to back up in a hurry as that one was hit 111 miles an hour off the bat. Almost took the glove off of Williams for a loud first out.
That ball was smoked. He did. He took a left turn, then a right turn. Well, I'll tell you what, he lands all over this. He goes left, he goes right, then he goes right into his glove.
It's Adam Behrens back out for his 3rd inning in relief. The first pitch of the inning, got to look alive out there, and Harris Williams did. 5-1 game as we go to the 7th. And Logan Maxwell takes a curveball down and in. Good pitch on a fastball. You think about the end game here for ASU. 4-run game, but you saw TCU had to really tax the bullpen. The closer probably not available in A-Belt, as this one's fouled off after his struggles and a lot of pitches and a blown save yesterday. So you figure if you just get back to the dugout, 9 outs to work with, 4 runs. It's an offense that started to show some life. You'd at least like your chances of making this thing a game down the stretch.
Oh, they've got a chance to make it a game. I mean, now, Arizona State's got to hold them right here. They caught a break on that last swing. That ball was smashed, right? And that's just the way the game goes there once in a while. But you got to try to maybe put up another 0 here and give your offense some hope. I always used to say if you were a grand slam away, then you had every right to, not that you couldn't come back from 5 down or 6 down, but I always said that grand slam, that one swing.
Another fly ball hit fairly deep to right, but McLean is all over that, makes the catch on Maxwell.
You know, one swing, if you get the bases loaded, get a guy in the right spot, get the wrong pitch or the right pitch for the hitter, and you change the game with 4 runs. And I'll tell you what, this young freshman pitcher has done nothing, and even in big moments, he's done nothing but say, here, I'm still coming at you. I'm coming, here it comes. I'm coming, my 2-seamer, I'm coming at you with 86, 88. A little changeup, a little slider.
The 0-1 down low on a changeup. By far the best he's looked. This is outing number 4 for Barons. Comes at you with that 3/4 slot. True freshman, but sometimes takes a few outings for it to all click as the slider goes outside.
I think the key word of what the statement you just said is he comes at you. And he has. And this may be his longest outing right now. They're probably looking at pitch count wise, where is he? I know they would love for him to sneak through this one right here. Yeah, he's getting
2-out walk though to Basir. They have stretched him out a couple times. He's thrown 76 pitches in a game. He went 4 innings against Kansas State. But you're also still in the game. You're not in just pure inning eater mode here. Still very cognizant of the scoreline, and ASU has had some arms getting loose for a while. Anthony Silva now comes up. After the 2-out walk, it's Silva who's had lineouts each of his last 2 plate appearances. Hitting .326, right back at it after a .330 freshman season. And goes the other way, fouled on the right field line.
Yeah, you look around this ballpark, and architecturally, there's always something better you can do, I guess, right? But it is just beautiful. I mean, we have stood up here for, what, a day and a half, and this is you and I, second time here, and we're way up high up here where we can really see everything, and there's so much detail thought into this. The Carbach bar up there, the top left, triple deckers.
A really cool setup here as a called strikes in for a curve.
I love the ground level suites. But I went down there that first weekend we were here, and you're right there on it. Like you can hear, sense, feel the velo, everything that goes with it.
A comebacker right to the mound. Barons gets through the inning, and we are so lucky to be here. It's day 2 of 3, day 16 of 17 to open the season of college baseball. Another stretch time coming at Globe Life.
Watch me. Watch me tumble, jump, and soar. When our squad is on point, we own the floor. Dazzling stunts and dances are my jam. Pain once caused issues, but they had a plan. A life-changing brace with no surgery to fear. Activity without limits, one more reason to cheer. Watch me. Industry-leading scoliosis treatment at Shriners Children's. The most amazing care anywhere.
Your pride and joy is measured in acres. Keep them looking their best with the Kubota lineup. Versatile sidekick utility vehicles. The #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience. professional-grade mowers for a professional cut. It's equipment built with one purpose: to get the job done right.
The American Western Weekend. 2 nights of Western sports and live entertainment. Deep in the heart of Texas. March 8th and 9th, Globe Life Field. Friday night, the American Performance Horsemen with a concert by Luke Bryan. Saturday night, the American Rodeo with a concert by Post Malone. The American Western Weekend, March 8th and 9th. Tickets on sale at AmericanRodeo.com.
We go to the bottom of the 7th. Cole Klecker's night is done, and what an impressive start it was. His 8th career quality start, Ty, and was dealing since the opening frame.
Just overpowered the corner all night. I mean, kneecaps right at the highest part. You see him getting some love from his head coach there too, and his pitching coach, Kirk Sarloos. But it was just sheer, here I go. I mean, he was locked in. Look, a lot of times as a coach, you look for something that's going to give you an idea. You see how happy those eyes are right now. When he went out there for that first pitch, you taking a picture of him, he was laser locked in.
Klecker's best outing in his first 3 this season gives way to Chase Hoover, the heavily used sophomore arm. His 6th appearance all year, at a couple shaky outings. His first 2 of the season, has been much better since then. Comes in with an 8.44 ERA, but was relied upon heavily last year. Made his collegiate debut here against Mizzou a season ago, and made 13 appearances. Also had 4 spot starts. A guy who can come in those lefty-lefty matchups, but also can extend out, give you multiple innings out of the pen. And he comes in inside on a lefty-lefty matchup against Isaiah Jackson to start the 7th.
Okay, TCU got 9 outs, but you got to try to go preserve a lead to win the game.
A rocket to the right side again, right at an outfielder. Myers barely had to move as Jackson hit it 108 miles an hour off the bat.
Well, he sure did. I mean, he jumped all over this. The ball was kind of middle in to him, and he hit exactly where he was supposed to. The game of baseball just got in the way of it, with the right fielder being right there on it. 10, 15 feet either way, and that ball's down the line for a double. But you know, you start counting it down. Now you got 8 outs. You start talking about, you know, our matchups. Who do we like against this guy, that guy? And you brought it up earlier. They used a lot of arms last night out of the bullpen.
Mendoza swinging away to first pitch, fouls it off. Well, Coach Sarlos had said, we talked to him last year, that when Hooper's at his best and he's commanding his pitches, he has 4 above average pitches. And if you're a lefty in college baseball and have 4 above average pitches, you have a chance to be in a weekend rotation. It's a pretty good way of phrasing it. And they gave Hoover some spot starts last year. They feel like he can, you know, for now with the depth they have, he's sort of a late relief to long relief guy, but if he's effective, they can use him for multiple innings. Just misses on a slider here.
Every good staff has a multi-purpose guy, and that means that he can get you out of a jam in the middle of the game where you think the game's about to be decided. He's that guy that you can bring in the 8th or the 7th, carry you through the end of the game. I mean, every good staff's got 1 or 2 of those guys that can troubleshoot for you at any point of the game.
2-1 count here. Bullet to the left side. No stopping that baseball. 104 off the bat. It's cut off out there, but it doesn't matter. Mendoza thinking 2 all the way, and he has an extra base hit as he keeps mashing. 3rd hit of the weekend. He has 3 of ASU's 6 hits this weekend.
Watch him get on top of this baseball. We've talked. Look at that. That barrel. His hands are above that thing. That's what I've been talking about. A flat swing. He gets his hands above it. Barrel never falls below it. That is a flat swinging dude right there.
And Mendoza hit 3 balls super hard last night. Only got rewarded with 2 hits. And has another extra base hit, and it's Brandon Compton, who had his first knock of the weekend in his last trip up. Compton goes the other way off the end of the bat. Maxwell comes in and it drops. He got fooled by that ball. Runners go to the corners. As he took a big step back, hit off the end of the bat by Compton, and ASU with 2 on and 1 out.
And Mendoza couldn't go. He did a great job of, you know, the ball's hit, he kind of gets stuck halfway, watching he's going to catch it, not catch it, but you're chasing runs. You cannot afford to get doubled off right there. You know, if he'd have dove for that ball, does he catch it, not catch it? So he had to stay there and was only able to move up to third base. And now Arizona State's starting to get the little offense going, and some of them starting to fall in there now.
They go to a pinch hitter here in Josiah Cromwick, the Oregon transfer, Vegas native, the third catcher, but the guy was really physical, has had some hot streaks over his career. They bring him into the 9-hole. Cromwick get the pinch hit spot. He takes a called strike on a slider.
Well, this is an offensive move at the bottom of the order, replacing your 9-hole hitter with a guy who a little bit more power, probably.
Check swing and the offer at 0-2. And Cromwick looking to get on track, go for his first 7 in a Sun Devil uniform, 4 Ks, but had a career 781 OPS over 3 seasons in Eugene. So stays in the conference, goes from Oregon to Arizona State. And he's saying he got hit. Tried to sell that on a slider down and in.
Well, he thinks he did. He's convinced he got hit.
Went there. Umpire calls him back. It's one of those things, once you kind of commit to it as a hitter, you want to sell that he did get hit. Here's another look. I saw a little move of the shoelace, but
that's all it takes. I mean, if it did, I didn't see that.
Umpires come together. Willie Bloomquist has the back of his player, so they'll request a review here.
Give it to us. Give us the 2 hands on the ear. Oh, don't walk up the screen. There we go. There it is.
Oh, Ty's loving the newfound sign for the review. Casey Mosier will have a look. All right, let's see if we can see anything definitive here.
Oh, how about this camera work?
I mean, it looks like it bounces in the dirt, but
no,
it's
the
laces we saw, and they clearly just move a little bit.
I don't know if that's going to be enough to define that he got hit. He's convinced he did. Man, are those shoelaces moving? Is that going to be enough to?
I mean, if it did hit him, that is about as little contact as you could possibly have on a hit by pitch, because you clearly saw the ball hit the dirt.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a graze, if that's the right word.
That's a great word for it.
It'd be a grazing of the shoestring. I just don't think there's enough to change it. I don't.
Get word from our production truck. They have looked at it. Call will stand. There clearly wasn't anything definitive in those looks, as much as you could say. Maybe the shoelace slightly moved. So 1-2, ball inside. What a chance for everybody to reset. Mendoza at third, Compton at first. You have the tying run on deck in Harris Williams as we play in the bottom of the 7th. Big moment for Josiah Cromwick. First appearance of the weekend as a pinch hitter. Watches a changeup run outside. First inning for the TCU bullpen that had its ups and downs last night. Blew a save. Gave out some crooked numbers to USC. Ultimately won the game 9-8 in 11 innings. And this one is off the plate. It's a wild pitch and a run scores. What a bizarre carom. It's read perfectly, though, by Mendoza. And ASU gets a second run back.
Yeah, you don't see the ball bounce off the plate like this, or carom off the edge of the plate, the front edge of the plate is what it looked like to me. Oh, no, it was way out in front of the plate. Oh, you know what? I'd bet you that thing ended up hitting a spike mark and on one of the rotations and the spinning of it, and just those things will ricochet and usually not that high.
Hit off the top of Bowen's mask there. Hot shot. That's a base hit. Compton had to hold up to make sure it got through, but he goes first to third. Josiah Cromwick, first hit in ASU uniform. And ASU keeps the inning going. Still runners on the corner. Still just one out.
How about that for an at-bat? Almost gets hit on the, or grazed on the shoelace, or convinced he did. Hangs in there. It's a wild pitch. Gets his first base hit as a Sun Devil.
Gets Kirk Sarlos out of the dugout, and a pitching change coming for TCU. Chase Hoover gets the first out, but then 3 straight base hits back to back to back. Cole Klecker gave up 3 hits in his entire 6 innings of work. And the Horned Frogs go back to the pen. Zachary Coyer has been very good. He enters right after this. Kirk Sarlos goes deep into the bullpen, and a guy who's been tremendous for him this year. First year in a Horned Frog uniform, JUCO transfer, and a Fort Worth native. Zachary Coyer has been excellent so far. Coyer, to this point, Ty, 5 appearances, 9 2/3 innings, 5 hits, no runs allowed, 6 walks, 10 Ks, and he got the win last time out. Pitched midweek in that crazy extra inning game when TCU beat Wazoo 8-7 in 12 innings. He was the winning pitcher as the Horned Frogs walked off the Cougars. Threw 53 pitches in that game midweek, so he wasn't out there Friday, but he comes in, and a guy has evidence with 2 different 3-inning outings can get you multiple innings. And if this thing is going well, not out of the realm to get a 7-out save here with a 3-run lead.
Well, he's walking into a jam because Arizona State right now is starting to get that barrel to the baseball a little bit more than what they've done all weekend. And they're starting to game up a little offensive.
Just like that, Harris Williams to the right side. Another base hit, throw behind the runner as Cromwick just gets back. And another great piece of hitting, Harris Williams with his 11th RBI of the year, and it's a 2-run game.
Just like I was telling you, they're getting the barrel there now. That's a good-looking swing, short stroke. They're finding the holes now, right? They're putting the ball in play hard, on the ground, on the line. He kind of slipped coming around.
That's a Ryan Jacks, too. They brought him in as a pinch runner after Cromwick got the base hit. So that run charged to Hoover. Another line shot. Nick McLean back-to-back hits. Around third comes the pinch runner, Ryan, and all of a sudden Arizona State has life. It's a 1-run game.
They got more than life. They've got momentum right now. Back-to-back hits. This is the man right here that's got to get it going for him. Blasted the ball through the middle earlier for a base hit, and he blasts another ball the other way. And you know what? They're not trying to do too much. All these are singles, line drives. Nobody's in there with that barrel turned up trying to hit it out of the park. Not that they can't. They can. These are good short strokes, just chipping away at that lead. Now they're right in the middle of it.
Collier has not given up more than 2 hits in a single outing all year. He gives up 2 hits on 2 pitches to start his night. Finally gets a strike in there to Campos. Now what a turn. It was 5-0 TCU. Arizona State without a hit. Going into the 5th inning. Just a lifeless offensive performance, but they have eventually found their stride. This one taken off the plate 1-1. And to your credit, Ty, you said, look, it's going to happen at some point.
It's
a matter of time, and it has come here.
Now, those barrels were lining up. Every at-bat, you could start to see that barrel get to the plate area, to the contact area. Remember, the only out they've had was a line drive. Base hit.
It is fair. Down the third baseline for Campos. Takes a big carom as they'll send McLean all the way around from first. He is safe. Arizona State takes the lead.
You could feel it coming. You could see it coming. And they are letting it happen right now. Bunch of hard ground balls, line drives, aggressive swings, aggressive running the bases. About 2 or 3 innings ago, you could just see they were just, those barrels were starting to line up. Well, definitely things are headed their way. They've got, obviously now they've got the momentum.
That gets new pitching coach Dave Lawn out from the dugout. We listed off the numbers for Collier. This is one of the best relievers for TCU right now amidst a super deep bullpen. I don't know if you've seen anything as far as just catching too much of the plate, but this has been rocket, rocket, rocket. 2 singles and a double now since he entered the fray, and he's not been hit all year.
Well, remember we were talking earlier in the game that when they weren't hitting, hitting's contagious, right? I mean, you start to feel something, you start to get excited, you get a little more locked in, and you can just, momentum comes in so many different forms. And I'll tell you what they have done is they've got to the top of the baseball. You don't see a bunch of lazy fly ball outs. Again, going back to what we were talking about, the first out was a line drive to the outfield, and they've been hard outs, they've been hard swings, hard ground balls. And they've been chipping away at it with good swings.
6 unanswered for Arizona State over the last 2 frames. A 5 spot in the 7th, and are still threatening. Only 1 out. Jacob Tobias in. Collier giving up 3 rockets to start his day, and now a wild pitch. Campos moves over to third. It is all going south right now for TCU on the mound.
We were talking about yesterday how baseball, it just entertains me when people say, well, baseball's played so slow. And you look up and all of a sudden a team that hadn't scored a run, done anything, and now they're up.
10 minutes, yeah. This thing is totally flipped, yeah. Bowen gets back into his crouch. Infield comes in now. And the curveball misses the zone 2-0. Collier has touched 96 in the past with the fastball. It's a big overhand curve. Also added a cutter when he got to campus, and has a pretty good feel for a changeup, but we haven't really seen him get into the arsenal. Finds his zone here with the curveball, and it's 2-1.
Look at an 80-mile-an-hour breaker right there. It's got some miss to it. The ball starts out in the hitting area, then disappears.
Swing and a miss gets him out front on a curve. 2-2 to Tobias, who had the sac fly, got ASU's first run of the tournament last inning. 8th man to hit in this frame already. 5 runs across the plate for Arizona State. Got him. Good pitch back to the curveball.
So that breaker's got some miss to it. The first one he threw, you could see it was getting right in that hitting area, then it just boom, just disappeared. Second one was a little bit bigger, and the third one, the one he just punched him out with right there, that was quite a bit bigger breaker. I think he's got a lot of depth to it.
Kiger was a really good JUCO pitcher at McLennan in Texas, but missed most of his freshman year. Season-ending injury, got shut down, came back, had a great sophomore campaign. Finds the zone here to make it 0-1. Kevin Karstetter looks in 0 for 3 with a K. Check swing, but that's in there anyway. Called strike. Campos doing some dancing over at third base. And an 0-2 count. They're not holding Campos. He got about halfway down the line before that last pitch. Lays off this curve. I guess we should have known this whole time, Ty. TCU, they only play one-run games.
Absolutely.
It's always inevitable.
Yeah.
Tapped foul off of Karstetter. TCU 10-0, but 5 wins by a single run. ASU trying to turn those tables on them tonight.
I'd be surprised if we're done scoring in this game.
Up high on a 1-2 fastball. That one touches 94. As Kiger reached back for a little something extra.
Try to elevate a fastball. Did he elevate it to try to go set up the breaker?
Punch back up the middle. What a piece of hitting by Karstetter. Stays on the curveball. It's a 6th spot of the 7th inning for ASU.
You don't think that young man right there is not happy? A defensive blunder, you know, earlier in the game, we didn't get the guy at second base. He was looking for every way in the world to go help his team. Remember the next time he came up, made a great play. You're talking about getting down after that breaker, running, hit that thing right back up the box. That's an unbelievable piece of hitting.
Doing his best Vlad Guerrero impersonation. Takes that right off the dirt. Oh, golf swing. Shoots it out up the middle. 7-5 ASU. And Isaiah Jackson, who started this inning with a rocket to right that was right at Sam Myers. He's back up for the 2nd time in the frame. Waits for the 0-1. It's got to be an interesting spot too mentally for a pitcher who's been amazing to start the year. First time he's really been touched up at all.
That's a good point. I mean, it's a big moment for it too.
Called strike on a curveball. And based on the numbers, he comes in, you're thinking, okay, candidate for an extended 7-out save. And 5 minutes later, you go from up 3 to down 2. 0-2 to Jackson. Runner goes, swing and a miss. Gets him on the curve. But the damage is done. A 6th spot for Arizona State. The Bats finally break out in a big way. And they have a lead for the first time all weekend. Some big hits all the way around. Harris Williams delivers. Nick McLean, Ryan Campos, and Kevin Karstetter as well, all getting in on the action as we go to the 8th inning. 7-5 lead for Arizona State.
Your pride and joy is measured in acres. Keep them looking their best with the Kubota lineup. Versatile sidekick utility vehicles. The #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience. Professional grade mowers for a professional cut. It's equipment built with one purpose, to get the job done right.
Elevate your ballpark experience with a tour of Globe Life Field and experience the home of the Texas Rangers like never before. Go behind the scenes and explore premium spaces, unique club settings, luxury suites, and more. Along the way, you'll discover rich history, impressive architecture, and fun photo opportunities around every corner. Globe Life Field's many tour offerings are sure to take your ballpark visit to the next level. For more information and to book your experience, visit globelifefield.com.
Kane Brown in the Air Tour. Saturday, September 14th, Globe Life Field. Special guests, Cole Swindell, Locash, and Ray Lynn. Crossover superstar Kane Brown Live. So thank God I get to on sale now at KaneBrownMusic.com. Presented by AEG Presents.
The tables have turned as we go to the 8th inning. 7 unanswered for Arizona State after being down 5-0. And it's now up to TCU to find some life here. Bottom of the order, Carson Bowen due up. Adam Behrens, best performance all year. Now he comes in from being down to protecting a lead, and he immediately gives up a base hit. Bowen goes the other way. Leading off this 8th inning, you said it earlier, Ty, you figured we were not done yet on the scoring front.
I don't think so, but it's a ground ball the other way. It's a good job of hitting it the other way. He was aimed that way. He was going to take that fastball and/or breaker and hit it to the right side. Did. Shoved it right through the 4-hole for a leadoff base hit. They need to get. TCU needs some momentum.
Slider catches the outside edge. Chase Brunson looks in, and how long is the leashing out for Behrens, who is out there for his 4th inning of work. Really struggled to start the year, but has been tremendous today. A foul tip back, and it's 0-2. It's a good look at Behrens out on the mound.
Yeah, that's a great point. Man, I think that if this guy finds a way that he gets on, I would think that they would start to, consider getting into the pen.
Good take pitch, just misses on 0-2.
What a
new
great
shortstop
pitch.
Right, a new shortstop into the game. Jax Ryan, excuse me. He was a pinch runner, scored to make it a 5-4 game last inning. He stays out there at shortstop. Another change-up in the dirt. So you have Ryan, a true freshman, but they're really high on him out there in the field for ASU. As Chase Brunson, 0 for 3, did reach on a fielder's choice, which was that bases loaded tapper where nobody could make a play. Slow roller, that's through. A little bleeder on a seeing eye single, and Brunson has a base hit. TCU an immediate answer with 2 on and nobody out.
What I love about tonight, the majority of the hits have been like that. Getting on top of the baseball. I mean, you could roll. That's a 27 hopper right just left of the second baseman. A good job of hitting, getting on top of it, not hitting a lazy fly ball. There's been a lot of that. I mean, Arizona State had a ton of ground ball base hits.
Now Ryder Robinson had a couple big moments just like this. He came up in the 9th inning, was trying to bunt, couldn't get it down, ultimately got a base hit, then did get a bunt down in the 11th that set up the walk-off. Here he takes outside. No shortage of experience now with 2 plate appearances in a tight game last night trying to get a bunt down.
Well, they're electing to move him to second, third with less than 2. If they succeed on the bunt, they'll try to bunt this ball down the third baseline.
Pulls back. Last second, 2-0 to Ryder Robinson.
First pitch you elevate maybe to get him to bunt underneath it, pop it up. But after you try once, and you got to get the ball back in the zone. And sometimes not a bad idea to throw a breaker running into him because it's harder to bunt it down the third baseline.
And takes ball 3. ASU has a couple guys getting loose down in the pen. Behrens over 55 pitches now. taking all the way. That's in a called strike.
Well, now you're in a hitter's count. You let him swing. You go with the short game, try to bottom like you started it. You know he's got to come in and throw a strike.
Does show bunts, and bunts hit foul. Last time Robinson got 2 strikes on him trying to bunt, came up with a base hit, part of that 9th inning rally that forced extras last night for TCU. TJ Bruce, the hitting coach, giving the signs, former head coach at Nevada.
Well, he's a ground ball pitcher, which is why I think they were trying to move him to, you know, maybe stay out of the double play.
Fouls it off. And what very well could be the final batter Barons faces. Top of the order, due next.
Well, he may get a hit here on this next pitch. That pitch was elevated enough for him to get to it. That's one of the first elevated, not first, but one of the few elevated fastballs he's thrown.
Chopper over the head of Carstetter, and a huge collision out in the field as Carstetter lunged for that ball and then got trucked into by Bowen. TCU fans not happy. Bowen slow to give up. Get up, and it's bases loaded, nobody out. Umpires will come together and have a discussion, as that certainly would have scored him with how that was a big chopper to the outfield.
I got to see this unfold. He has the right to go get it now. He's got. Well, they're going to have a hard time with this one.
I mean, he just came down when he got hit, though, right?
Yeah. Well, they're gonna bring him in.
Yep. And you feel for Carstetter because he had literally a half second from when he came down to get out of the way, but Bowen runs right into him by the letter of the law. That is the fielder's interference. They give him home plate. Willie Bloomquist can't believe it. He's out to argue, and that makes it a 1-run game.
This is a tough call. I've been on both sides of this, and they're going to make a pitch and change, but I've been on both sides of this, and it's unfortunate. It's also kind of great base running, Ben, because if you see that he's like that and you do make contact with him, you know as a base runner that you're going to get the base. And I mean, that's just part of this game. I mean, jump up for a fly ball, most of the time, you know what a runner will do? They'll avoid him. But they didn't, because it's bam, bam, they're going to get a run scored out of it.
Well, that's the end of the line for Barons. It was a good start to his relief outing, but in his 4th inning gives up 3 straight hits. New pitcher coming in, a tight game in the 8th. (7-6) Arizona State. Barons chase from the game. Here's another look at that interference call that scored the run for TCU.
Yeah, look, that might be good base running. He jumps for the ball, can't come up with it. He was swinging out as he was coming to the bag, right? He sees it's over his head. He starts to swing out so he can go, you know, touch third base and have momentum going home. and ends up colliding with the third baseman, and by rule, he's going to be awarded home plate. And I'm look, he's asking right now. He's like, what do I do? How do I? You know, he's got every right to wonder that too. He truly does.
And when the judgment call comes in, you can make the argument, well, if it was obviously over his head, you just leap to try to create a tough route there to go to the base. But it's one thing if it's a line drive clearly over your head. That was a play he actually had a chance on. I find myself sympathetic more to Carstetter on that, since he had a play on the ball, but you're totally right when you watch it. Bowen could see that coming from a mile away. Trucks into him, gets awarded home.
Well, no, I don't. No. Well, I don't think he was at him. I mean, he could. I mean, if he's got that kind of instinct, you could. What I'm saying was he was going at him with a great baseman. He starts to cut out to swing around to get momentum to go home. But yeah, I mean, could you say that, does he have that kind of instinct to make that decision right then? 5 feet away from him, 8 feet away from him. You know what I mean? You could certainly, if a kid's got that kind of instinct, more hat off to him, the base runner.
Yeah, with Carstetter, right? Obviously in his way, just runs into him, gets the call, and now it creates a situation where does Chatagnier try to get a bunt down here? He takes one up and in. 2-1 the count, as it is a new pitcher. Ben Jacobs comes in, who's been used in both start and relief roles this year. That one will make you flinch a little bit. 2-1 to Chatagnier. Bunt is down, really well executed. Jacobs, a low throw, can't be dug out, and the bases are loaded full of Horned Frogs.
Well, good bunt, good enough bunt. He gets it over to the pitcher's side of it. They're going to advance the runners to third base. Pitcher kind of comes after that ball pretty aggressively. Got to get those feet set. Ben, maybe just a little bit more. Watch him break. He breaks off the mound real hard, like you're supposed to. Got a little more time than maybe he thought. Hurried that throw. First baseman Tobias wasn't able to come up with a scoop.
Such a tough play, too. Pitcher, you're fresh out of the pen. First at bat, it's a bunt right back to you. You have to make a play against a guy who runs really well. Now it's bases loaded. Go ahead run at second. Still nobody out through all this as Myers takes a slider in the dirt. ASU with a 6th spot in the bottom of the 7th to take a 2-run lead. TCU has sent 4 to the plate already. 1 run in, bases loaded. Jacobs the reliever. Myers takes a ball, was the hero last night. He was our player of the game, had the walk-off in the 11th, ripped off the jersey. Chance for another big moment here.
He's got him into a good count right here because he's got to try to throw a strike.
He takes 90.
That just tells you he's looking for something middle in. That was a fastball away. That's a good disciplined take. You were set up for a heater middle in. You got it away. Take it. Move to the next pitch.
Nice offering there. Catches the black. 91 on the outside edge.
Yeah, you don't want to try to hit that one. That pitch right there, as you just said. 90 right on the edge.
Stays alive. A good battle here between Myers and Ben Jacobs, sophomore from Huntington Beach, transferred in from UCLA. Was a really big name recruit, but never got it going. Struggled with command. 9 walks in 5 innings as a freshman. Has been clocked at 95 with that fastball, touching about 91 so far in this AB. Sent the other way into foul territory, just landing foul, and it drops in front of Harris Williams. TCU is ready to clear the bases on that thing, had it dropped in fair territory. And we'll do it again on 2-2.
Ben, when he hit that ball, I thought that ball was in. And I thought it was in. I thought it was going to hit and then bounce towards the bleacher area and create a little bit more havoc, because it had a little bit of that slicing spin. But it was just foul. Let me get another. I thought right there, I thought it was fair. It missed by much.
Lefty-lefty matchup with the bases loaded, nobody out. Another pop up, this one into the seats. Myers hitting .400 in his debut season. Driving in 7 and only 3 strikeouts in 27 appearances at the plate. Does not look like a freshman up there. Tying run at third. Back up the middle to left center. Williams comes in. Here's the tag. Play at the plate is offline, and a run for TCU. Brunson's speed is the difference as we're tied at 7.
Not a crazy deep fly ball. What a great battle, though, by Myers. Unbelievable. Fouled off 3 really hard sliders. Finally gets something he can kind of squeezes his hands in there and gets it out just deep enough. I didn't know for sure if they were going to send him. It's a good job of trying to get behind it. But you're right, the speed, he outruns this ball to play, even though it's a little bit offline. He outruns it.
Back and forth we go. 7-7 game. Finally a first out recorded for ASU. As it's Curtis Byrne takes a strike. 7 runs on 10 hits for each team. A rocket off the netting. Well, Burns hit a couple balls hard. Remember his last time up in the 7th? Harris Williams almost got turned around, almost got a hole put through his glove out.
Yeah, he did.
Byrne nicknamed Nails out of St. Louis, Missouri. Punches it foul to stay alive 0-2. 5th-year senior with a whole lot of experience.
Tell you what, Ben Jacobs got a good arm. This ball's coming out of his hand pretty quick. He's got just enough depth on that slider. That fastball's firm and direct.
Byrne sends it out to left, still carrying. It's down. 2 runs will score for TCU. Byrne on his horse to third. Another big hit for the Horned Frogs as they retake the lead.
Oh, he tried to go to break her down. He didn't get it, didn't bury it, left it in the plate. That down and in to Byrne, and I'm telling you, look at that. He lands all over this. And look at the effort from the left fielder. You don't think they're not full out dive trying to catch that ball? Unable to do it. What a great 0-2 swing. Oh, isn't it the pitcher, Jacobs just missed burying that thing. And Byrne takes advantage of it.
Called strike to Maxwell. And Curtis Byrne, not really known for his speed. It's his 2nd career triple in his 139th career game.
Well, he smashed that thing. He wasn't going to be denied getting to third base. He was maybe not speed, but he was running on adrenaline. He felt like he was running on air.
Upstairs on the 0-2. Still only 1 out. ASU brings the infield in. 10 combined runs in the last 2 half innings. As Maxwell keeps himself alive. This is a park, though, that in the college game, even a guy like Byrne, who's more of a catcher by trade, can get triples with how deep those gaps are. Slider down in the dirt. We just saw how that played out. 2-2 count.
That's the breaker that Jacobs was trying to throw on the 0-2. He was trying to bury it and get him to swing over the top. Just didn't.
Back to the slider. That's outside.
I tell you what, between Myers' left-on-left battle. Now with Maxwell the same way. They have fouled off a number of tough pitches to keep their at-bats alive.
Walks him. Missed on the 3-2, and it's runners on the corners. Almost a carbon copy of last inning for ASU. TCU, the ability, though, to bounce back, have such a short memory. It goes back to all the experience in the close games. It's like they're just built for these tight back-and-forth affairs, not phased whatsoever. And it's been a struggle here for Jacobs as Willie Bloomquist comes out, takes the ball from him, and they go back to the bullpen. 4 runs in this inning, still just 1 out. As we'll get another ASU pitcher right after this. A difference-making at-bat by Curtis Byrne, a 2-run triple to re-give TCU the lead, his second career 3-bagger for the 5th-year senior.
I tell you what, if you make a mistake, he ain't gonna miss it, and he did not miss it in a huge moment for the Frogs. And then as they dove for that ball out in left field, it ricocheted and went back towards center field, which probably allowed him to get that extra 90 feet to third base. What a second half of the game.
This was 0-0. We were saying pitchers duel into the 4th. 16 runs.
No hitter.
There was a no-hitter at one point. Now Matt Teeting, really special moment for Matt. Fort Worth native, back here his hometown against his hometown team in TCU. A JUCO transfer who was a workhorse last year, 39 2/3 innings and 22 appearances for the Sun Devils in his first season a year ago. Just a ground ball machine, though, and they felt like his fastball velocity ticked up a little bit into this last fall, but a guy who gets a lot of sink on that natural fastball. Perfect time to get a double play if you're ASU, but are in desperate need of getting back to their dugout, having given up 4 runs already this inning. 8th man to bat. And Jack Basir.
Well, you're right. If you're a Sun Devil fan, you'd love to see one of those 6-4-3 double play possibilities.
Basir takes a good-looking fastball on the outside edge. He had a RBI knock in that 3-run 5th for TCU. Horned Frogs were staked to a 5-0 lead in this game. Cole Klecker went 6 strong, gave up just a single run. It was 5-1, but ASU got to the bullpen in a big way last inning. This one runs outside a 6 spot, and he thought, all right, Sun Devils with the advantage, but 4 in this inning to bounce back for TCU. That's just something the Horned Frogs have done all year, and really dating back to the Omaha run last season. And frog ball magic has continued to exist here in Fort Worth. Just outside on 1-1.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a great way to put it. Going all the way back to a year ago, it's what they work on. It's what they, the word culture again always gets brought up in college athletics. I think it's part of it. They just keep grinding away.
Runner from first was on the move. That's fouled off by Basir. Maxwell with good speed over there.
And look, they had to take a lot. Because what I mean by take a lot, they were up, right? I'm not, kind of comfortably. And then all of a sudden a 6-pot gets thrown on top of you. And, they just, all right, oh, that's fine. You know what we're going to do? We're going to come right back and we're going to answer back.
Like Luke Boyers actually just put in after that last pitching break is a pinch runner over at first. That is Boyers over there. It's a good look at Luke, who came in to the game as a defensive replacement last night. Made a couple really nice plays in the field for TCU. So he's the pinch runner. Presumably will stay out in the field. You would think they'll move Boyers over to right, shift Myers from right to left. That's a big pitch on 2-2. Gets the K of Basir, an important second out.
Yeah, that was a good pitch. And by bringing Boyers in too, you're making a defensive replacement, thinking ahead. But then also you're creating foot speed on the back. That young man can pick him up, put him down pretty quick. And so now, it's your TCU. Do you run a first and third double steal? You do something maybe to make them make a decision whether they're going to throw down or.
Outside on Anthony Silva. Sun Devils have done a great job neutralizing him today. 0 for 3 with a hit by pitch. A homer and 9 driven in through his first 51 plate appearances. Runner is going. They will fake the throw down as Boyers steals second.
Yeah, that's what I assumed they would, just to create another 90 feet. Arizona State with 2 outs are saying, okay, we'll let him go. Let's just play defense. We're 1 pitch away from maybe getting this inning stopped. Let's just do our best, leave our infielders in the middle of the field.
2-0 fastball sinks down into the zone. 2-1 on Silva. Fort Worth kid Matt Teeding against the Fort Worth-based TCU Horned Frogs. Shot to the right side, down into the corner. Anthony Silva drives in 2 more. A 6 spot for TCU to take a 4-run lead.
What a beautiful approach, swing, to driving a ball the other way. Ball's out of the way from him. Look at that ball just off the edge of the plate. Looks out there, keeps his barrel on plane. It's an outstanding swing on it. 2 more runners in.
And because of that throwing error by Ben Jacobs, the previous pitcher, all 3 runners that he was responsible for, those are all unearned. And the defense that was really solid for ASU throughout most of this weekend has let him down here. Part of that 6-run frame for the Horned Frogs, and they've sent 10 to the plate now. Carson Bowen in a 0-1 count. Bowen a little bit jammed as Jackson retreats and makes the catch. Nothing like a good old-fashioned dueling 6 spots, but that's what we have tonight in Arlington. Bottom of the 8th next.
Your pride and joy is measured in acres. Keep them looking their best with the Kubota lineup. Versatile Sidekick utility vehicles. The #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience. Professional grade mowers for a professional cut. It's equipment built with one purpose, to get the job done right.
Solo Stove, you can finally think outside the cardboard box. The best pizza isn't delivered to the front door. It's made in the backyard. It doesn't come from a restaurant. It comes from you. Anywhere can be your favorite pizza spot. Any day of the week, all year long. Pie Prime is the pizza oven that's simple enough to be your first and powerful enough to be your last. Pie Prime by Solo Stove.
You're so much more than just a landowner. You're a gardener, a groundskeeper, and a landscaper. That's why you need versatile, durable Kubota equipment.
Well, a lot to pack into this game summary, especially over the last few innings. Cole Klecker's dominant start is like a distant memory. 6 innings of one-run baseball across 6 strikeouts. But the bottom of the order for TCU has been so good. 7 through 9, 4 for 10 with 4 driven in. ASU off to a terrible start, Ty. 0 for their first 14 and 2 walks. They have exploded, though, over the last 2 home frames.
Ups and downs of college baseball. I'll tell you what, first half of the game seemed like it was going to cruise along, be one of those games that ended up 5-1, 5-2, something like that. And exactly what happened was college baseball happened.
How about that? 10 for 16 after the bad start. And it's Ethan Mendoza who's been the best hitter all weekend. He's in their new pitcher, Luis Rodriguez, who we saw last night throw an effective inning of relief for TCU, and he gets a foul tip 0-2 in a night where TCU bullpen-wise really struggled. Rodriguez was awesome.
Yeah, he was clean. I mean, I thought his stuff was. I remember thinking to myself, if this is your setup guy, you're in pretty good shape.
He got TCU to the closer Ben Abel, but Abel was off last night, blew the save, walked 3, did not give up a hit, but USC came back, scored 3 in the 9th. The 1-2 roped foul. Watch out down there at third. Mendoza's been on the baseball all weekend. 2 hits last night, double and a run scored as part of that rally last inning. Watches a curveball just outside. Rodriguez, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts, has not allowed a run in 5 1/3 innings of work out of the pen so far. Jams him here, slow roller. It's cut off by Robinson. His throw is just in time as Byrne kept his foot on the bag.
It's like good looking baseball play, and particularly late in the game. I mean, first the game, beginning of the game. He's got to go a long ways, one hand that ball, shuffle, show your arm off.
Play.
Good play.
Byrne making the stretch, known more as a catcher, but they're 2 good catchers. He can play first base as well. Slow roller here by Compton. As Chatinier makes the play, 2 up, 2 down for Rodriguez, who has retired all 5 he's faced so far this weekend. We mentioned it last half inning, TCU making the expected changes. Sam Myers, he goes from right to left, just like last night. Luke Boyers, who was the pinch runner, stole a base and then scored on that RBI double. He's out there in right. Made a couple really good plays, including a sliding catch in foul territory down the right field line last night. Swing and a miss here by Jax Ryan, who came in as a pinch runner and scored last inning. Stayed in the field for defense at short. He now gets his first AB. Out in front of a cutter. Man, is Rodriguez dialed in right now or what?
Yeah, he was dialed in last night. Again, he ran him out there in the 8th, and I was like, my goodness, look at this guy's your setup guy.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night. A 3-pitch K. Luis Rodriguez mows down the Sun Devils in the 8th. TCU keeps its 4-run lead going to the 9th. Into the late innings here from Globe Life Field. What a fun game. What a fun weekend it's been. 11-7 TCU to the ninth. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Kubota. You need equipment with more reliability and versatility built in, like Kubota BX and L Series compact tractors, rated #1 in durability and owner experience. The swings, the emotions of college baseball. Each team with a 6 spot down the stretch. ASU thinking they were about to be in prime position for a top 5 win. TCU says not so fast. 6 in the top of the 8th. And have 8, 9, and 1 due up. Chase Brunson, a big part of that rally. Slow roll to the left side. Carstetter bobbles. Man, it's been a really tough night for him in the field, and that continues as ASU commits its 3rd error of the game.
Yeah, he has. He's had a tough night over there. I felt like he should just come up one-hand this ball and kind of go through it. Tries to two-hand it. Sometimes there's nowhere you can go on that field that baseball won't find you, and it will.
Yeah, it really wasn't his fault, that chopper over his head, but it was just a tough break. You leap up into the air, you come down, you got a big old catcher barreling on you, just got trucked. And the double whammy was called for the fielder's interference, so they gave, at the time, the runner Bowen home, which made it a 1-run game, part of that 6-run rally last inning. Here, called strike on Brunson. And the 3rd error of the day for Arizona State. Really should be 4. They did not give Carstetter an error on a ground ball with the bases loaded that he kind of had to make a tough little off-balance play, but his flip to second was not in time. And that's how the 9th start. Ryder Robinson and TCU understanding the issues of the bullpen last night, looking for more insurance. Runner goes, and it's a pitch down in the dirt. Perfect pitch to run on as Brunson has the stolen base.
Well, he got a good jump. He was going. Instead of trying to bunt him over, move him over, they're going to run him over. He does. He gets a good jump, peeks in to make sure there wasn't swung at.
Chopper to the left side. Really tough play. Jax Ryan over there. Oh, what a throw! How good was that by the freshman Ryan?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my. I mean, this ball's a bullet in the 6 hole. I'm going to go to my knees, get up, exchange the baseball, and fire a missile right on line to first base.
I think you and I both were starting to put our pens into the scorebook, just going infield single. I can't believe he made that play. And made it look pretty easy when you watch the replay. Man. Well, Jax Ryan, they view him as the guy who has the highest baseball IQ potentially on the roster, saying something for a true freshman. And he definitely projects as the shortstop of the future there in Tempe from Oklahoma. Chatinier back up, top of the order. Sends one foul, 0-2.
That's a major league play. If this was May, that's top 10 on major league highlights, going into the end of a major league day.
After that great play by Ryan, Teating trying to follow it up, just misses the outside edge on an 0-2 fastball. Stays alive.
The other part about that great play too, Ben, the runner wasn't able to advance to third. I think the runner thought it was going to get through too.
Here's the 1-2. Another foul back. Yeah, Jax Ryan, that was awesome. He also doesn't look like a freshman either. I realize I feel like we've said that same thing on about 19 different occasions this weekend when talking about different freshmen. But Ryan, he's got that sweat through bill of the cap already. He's worn that thing in as Teating looks in, ready for a 1-2. popped into shallow right center. Mendoza out, McLean in. Who wants it? It is caught by Mendoza for a second out.
Oh, that's a great catch. You got somebody traveling right over your back. Turns, catches it. Look at this. He turns, never takes his eyes off. He hears him coming because he held up, pulled up right there. Look, to be able to keep your concentration and focus knowing somebody's running at you is not an easy thing. A little lack of communication really from McLean.
Remember, this is McLean's first weekend back from injury. Wonder if that had anything to do with lack of communication.
Yeah, but you saw him pointing in his mouth, right? He said, I said something. He goes, I didn't hear you. And that's one of those things that, you know, you're right. Your point is he hadn't been out there much. He'd be able to say it a little bit louder. He knows it.
Foul off by Sam Myers. Big league park. Got to use a big league voice out here. As Myers slaps it down the line. That slice is foul. 0-2 with 2 outs. Teeting trying to get ASU back into the dugout for the home half of the ninth, where they'll have the top of the order due up. We were talking last break. You would just assume that with how good Luis Rodriguez has been, Kirk Saarloos would keep him in for the ninth.
Yeah, he will.
We are almost positive Ben Abelt not available tonight. The closer blew the save last night through a ton of pitches. Ooh, that's a hot shot. Watch out. That's why we have the netting there down by the dugout. Everybody's all good.
Everybody's all safe.
Right between the wickets down there. Got the tripod legs of our camera operator. Yeah, a lot of cameras down there for us this week. Is that 0-2 pitch just misses down low.
By the way, how about the job of camera crew and everybody's done over the last 2 days? We think we're narrowing the end of this game.
We think, yeah.
We think. Yeah. They have been unbelievable. The looks we've gotten.
Foul back.
The replays. It's been top-notch stuff. Look at them. They got cameras everywhere.
It's out in center field. I'm responsible for getting you those great home plate shots right in. And how the pitcher looks into the batter. 1-2 here to Myers. A rope foul.
This guy's going to end up at the end of the year. I know this stat does exist, but you don't hear about it as much in college baseball. This guy might end up with the most foul balls in a season because he just fouls, he battles, he shortens up, he fouls balls off, he fouls balls off. I mean,
love for that to be a stat.
Oh, it is.
So good. Takes a change up. I would love to have access to that stat.
Yeah,
I got to figure out a way to get a hold.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, that's a good point.
You coaches, you've got your own little, you know, your secret weapons. Let's make that media available there, Ty. Do it too. Another foul ball. I mean, that's right up my alley. I love stuff like that.
I do too. I mean, TrackMan would be able to. Get everybody to give that up is the trick.
You were down there talking to Jim Schlossnagel for our first game today. I was just sort of pretending like I was one of the guys, like, nodding my head. Yeah, I know what you guys are talking about. Yeah. Chopper to the right side. Mendoza the play. And gets the third out. A great piece of defense by the young shortstop, Jax Ryan. But it's TCU up 4, bottom of the ninth when we come back. Last ups for ASU as we go to the bottom of the ninth. 11-7, crazy back and forth game. Each team with a 6 spot in the 7th inning on. Willie Bloomquist, it's been a grind all weekend. And it started last night with good pitching, but no offense. Offense picked up middle of the game, but bullpen unable to keep what was a 2-run lead going to the top of the 8th. And now with Luis Rodriguez back to shut things down. He has faced 6 batters this weekend, retired all 6, and faces the top of that ASU order.
Well, he's been good. Now the hardest 3 outs in baseball to get are the last 3.
Number off the bat of Harris Williams. And the TCU's not used to this role, being up by more than 3 runs. Almost all their games have been decided by 3 or less, although this has had a feel of a tight game the whole way. Slider bounces in the dirt, 1-1. Runs down and in. Well, how valuable would it be, too, to get Rodriguez through with these final 2 innings? You don't have to use A-Belt, not available anyway today, and get him the day off. Chance to recruit, maybe be out there tomorrow in the series finale. TCU will face USC once again. Here it's a 3-1 count to Williams. Right now you're just focused on getting out number 1 if you're Kirk Saarloos and TCU.
Yeah, you're trying to go right to the middle of the plate.
Good pitch, catches the outside edge. 3-2.
What you don't want to do is, if TCU's lead him off with a walk, throw this ball in there, make him good, give him a chance to go play defense.
But he missed it just outside. Williams draws the free pass. TCU does have guys down there milling about. First blemish Rodriguez has had of the weekend after pitching a clean inning yesterday, clean 8th inning here. And he faces Nick McClain. Got his first 2 hits of the season back from injury. Base hits in the 6th and 7th. Scored both times. Drove in what at the time was and scored what was the go-ahead run back in the 7th. Part of that 6-run rally. Called strike on a slider.
The Sun Devils are right in the middle of their order. I mean, they're right in it now.
That runs inside, almost hit McClain.
Well, I'm not sure how it did.
I'm with you there, 1-1.
It's kind of one of those ones you wouldn't mind if you're letting it nick you a little bit. Take the base runner.
Upstairs, 2-1.
You know, he didn't miss on a pitch for the 6 outs that he's thrown so far over the last 2 days.
Back up the middle, that hit the hand of Rodriguez. Crazy carom, they can't get it out, and the throw gets away. They will not press the issue here. ASU down 4 as McClain reaches on a base hit that, if it was not touched by Rodriguez, could very easily be a double play.
I don't think there's any doubt it would have been. You're playing up the middle. Shortstop's going to go over and field that ball. If it doesn't ricochet off his hand, touch second base, I know they're for sure going to get well, for sure, they're probably going to get out of, maybe have gotten 2. They get none.
Something about pitching in a 9th inning just always hits different.
Well, it's like anything else. You don't lay in bed and dream about the 6th inning or the 5th inning hitting a heroic home run or striking out a guy. It's the 9th inning.
Rodriguez did have 3 saves last year as a freshman. He was honorable mention All Big 12 a season ago. Came in and was super impressive. He's from Long Beach, California, where his head coach Kirk Saarloos grew up. 1-0 count to Campos. Called strike. Trying to get the tying run to the plate here, ASU. You need one more guy on to do that.
Yep. Back to that grand slam rule.
A hot shot. This one is fielded nicely Burn backed up, able to read it well off the bat. He makes the play. Runners advance to second and third. TCU not worried about that.
I can promise you that the TCU dugout coaching staff took a deep breath because that was going to be a tough hop. Had a lot of top spin on it. Comes out of that home plate just spinning, and he's got to go up there and smother it. I've seen you go up there and smother, or everybody go up there and smother that thing, ricochet off, and then all of a sudden what was going to be an easy out is a tough one.
Tobias now comes up. 0 for 3, does have a sac fly to left, which happened in that 6th inning. Got the first run on the board. And Rodriguez, 3 saves last year, only 1 against a Power 5 team. He got a save on 10 pitches against Kansas in a March home series. This is down low, and it's 2-0 to Tobias. Golf to the right side, right at the second baseman. Almost get the double play. Chatinier leaps to make the catch. And a great job by McLean just to scamper back.
Yeah, he shouldn't have really been going anywhere because your run doesn't matter at that point, right? And so but he got back in time. What a great play. Great. Oh, if he let him to the bag, that might have been a double play. But McLean able to get back.
Silva almost getting over there. Just a high throw from Chatinier, but regardless, Rodriguez an out away for TCU. Swing and a miss as Carstetter is the last hope, trying to get this to Jackson, who would represent the tying run. TCU off to their best start since 1985, looking to go to 11-0 on the season. And a perfect 7-0 against the Pac-12. 1 strike away on the slider. It's 0-2 as the fans come to their feet at Globe Life Field.
That slider had a little bit more, oomph behind it, a little more break to it, a little more effort, a little more, I'm coming after you.
Little tapper, tough play for Silva, bobbles, and it's not in time. Carstetter goes down in a ton of pain.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they would have got him anyway, despite that bobble by Silva, and now the training staff out to check on Carstetter, who took a hard fall after he crossed first base.
Yeah, something happened along the way, and I'm not sure, but he went down hard, and it was before he went down. I don't know if it was a knee. Oh, man, we're never going to get another look at it. Tough play.
He just tripped over the bag, don't you think?
Yeah, but it looked like he hyperextended his knee. I'm not sure I want to watch this.
Oh, he just caught his cleat. Yeah.
And then when he comes down, kind of hyperextends it a little bit. Young man's had a rough night with a couple of defensive plays and looked like he, might have been the last out of the game. Hustles. He didn't want to be the last out of this game. You know what I mean? He's played hard. He's had some unusual things happen to him during the game. He was running as hard and as fast. He's kind of holding his right leg, like either hyperextended his leg or his hip a little bit. Trips on it, and after he trips, it's like when he comes down on his right leg.
He'll try to stay in the game. Wouldn't surprise me if they went with a pinch runner, just given that you're down to your final out in the 9th, even though his run technically doesn't mean anything. But that infield single drives home Harris Williams. Carstetter with back-to-back RBI base hits in his last 2 trips. McLean goes to third, and now the tying run does come to the plate. So Carstetter, for all the struggles he's had tonight, does his job, keeps this game alive for Jackson, who has big-time pop. 4 homers already this year, 15 runs batted in.
Well, they're going to play behind him at first base so they can cover some more ground.
Jackson watches a cutter down and in.
And you got to be able to refocus if you're Rodriguez. You made the pitch to end the game, right? And you think you get a chance. It's going to be a tough play. Wasn't able to come up with it. You got to be able to refocus.
That one gets past the catcher, Bowen. In from third is McLean. It's a 2-run game as Carstetter goes to second.
Yeah, that breaker just too far in, and again, it's hard sometimes when you feel like you're about to get the game over with and it doesn't quite end your way, and you got to be able to refocus. And I can be careful because now Jackson's in a good hitting count. You got to try to keep the ball away from him.
Challenges him on a 2-0 pitch, catches the bottom of the zone. And with those runs given up now, if TCU were to win, that would be 7 of the 11 wins by 3 runs or less. He fouls it back.
And they're going to try to make him have to hit that ball the other way with that backdoor breaker.
As we cross the 3.5-hour mark of this one, 2-2 in the bottom of the 9th with 2 outs and ASU down 2. Rips it foul. And Byrne was almost playing on the first base line with his positioning.
Yeah, no, he's playing no doubles, right? Because you got the tying run at the plate, so he's going to go over and hug that line. Plus, that's his glove side. See, look at his glove. That puts him even closer to the line. His coach is telling him, do not let a ball get by you down the line.
Called strike 3. It's over. Luis Rodriguez shuts the door, and TCU wins another wild one in Arlington.
He had to make the pitch. He goes with a backdoor breaker to nail it down for him. I tell you what an up and down game. I mean, I got emotionally involved in this, watching this just as a broadcaster, but as a fan, I mean, it was just so many ups and downs. It is what college baseball is, and what a great day, what a great game.
Fourth career save for Luis Rodriguez. Now, what a magical year this has already been for TCU, building off the success on a trip to Omaha last year as we look at the celebrations. 11-9 win. And on the other side, it's a tough turnaround. Arizona State plays, they'll be the early game tomorrow in just over 12 hours, 11 a.m. local time. That's a tough turnaround to make with how hard they fought tonight as they get Texas A&M again after the loss to TCU.
That is tough. It is, but this is a tough game. They're tough guys. Look, when you sign up to play baseball, and you sign up to play college baseball, all throughout your career, you're getting to where you are at that point, you understand what that is, and you go home, you get your meal on the bus, you go, you relax in the hotel, tell yourself, let's get up and do it tomorrow, and it's exactly what they'll try to do. Not a tough task taking on the Aggies.
We have Curtis Byrne with us right now as we send it down to the 5th-year senior for TCU 11-9 win over Arizona State. Curtis, thanks for joining us. What's it with your team and all these crazy back and forth games? Another one tonight.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, we've been having these nail biters recently, and it's been really good just to see how the team's, gone from, just learning how to win during these certain games, and that's really been the biggest thing.
What has your team learned through this stretch when you've had so many of these games where you've had to come from behind and rally late?
Yeah, never out of the game. That's really the biggest thing, making sure we're playing all 9, and we're just focusing on, just winning each pitch, and that's really been the biggest thing.
A little bit of everything for you tonight. Single, double, your second career triple. Your nickname is Nails. You're not known as a runner, man, but you had the Jets on there today. Take me through that at bat.
No, definitely. He made 2 really good pitches. Really, really good stuff on the mound, of course, and I ended up getting a breaking ball over the plate that I hammered and, saw pretty good, so that was really the big thing.
TCU off to its best start since 1985. Curtis, you've been a big part of that. Thanks so much for the time. Congrats on the win.
Thank you. Take care, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks to Curtis Byrne for joining us post-game. An 11-9 win for TCU. 9-8 win last night in 11 innings. They take out Arizona State 11-9, rallying after giving up 6 in the bottom of the 6th. For Ty Harrington, for the rest of our outstanding crew here at Flow Sports, Lucas Haskins, our producer, the rest of the crew, TCU and ASU play another fantastic game back and forth. ASU's back here bright and early tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. locally, 12 Eastern. ASU and Texas A&M. 2 more games to wrap up 3 outstanding weekends of college baseball as the Kubota College Baseball Series will resume and wrap up tomorrow. Our final score one more time. It's TCU 11, Arizona State 9. I'm Ben Wilson saying good night from Globe Life Field in Arlington. We'll see you back here for 2 more tomorrow right here on FloSports.